That was a joke.
Sleep is like number one.
It's so important. I feel like your whole body just completely shuts down if you don't get enough sleep. Like you'll end up shitting yourself and stuff, like just randomly. Like it's just, I'm not saying I do, but you know, some people in the okay. Last time you were in the podcast, you told a story. Was it the first match you're on? You told a story, but you shit yourself in the leaving cert. That will stick with you forever.
That's mad that happened.
It is actually. I'm actually like curious as to how your arsehole. Oh, I'm just joking. Okay, let's start the podcast. Okay. Let me compose myself because I'm just thinking of shit. The reason I'm thinking of shit, by the way, is because my niece is 6 years of age and she doesn't know how to wipe her arse or flush the toilet yet. So it's like she goes into the toilet, she makes her shit, she doesn't clean the shit. So it's just a big, massive shit in the toilet and then it's all over the toilet seat. There's nothing more disturbing than looking at a child's shit in the toilet.
Man.
It's just completely just not fun.
I'm so scared of like having kids one day and having to deal with that. And do you know when kids are just... Do you ever see kids when they eat and they get messy and they have like fucking beans or red sauce all over their face? I actually just want to drive them with a kick. I cannot stand that. Straight up.
My fucking nephew is like, what, 6 months? And I was just there bopping him up on my knee, like, you know, like, who's a good horsey? Who's a good... Not a sexual thing, but just who's a good horsey, you know? 10 minutes later, I found out he was covered in shit, and me doing that, it was all over his belly and everything. I was like, what the fuck? I take partial responsibility for not smelling it.
What the fuck? Yeah, no, fuck that, man.
Not fun. Let's just not have kids. Let's wear condoms, guys. Safe sex is a thing, unless you're gay.
Yeah. I can get one of those. Do you ever see the new things they have for... You like put your balls, it's like a tiny bat that vibrates and it kills all the sperm for like 6 months. I swear to God, it's a real thing.
A little bat that kills the sperm. That just sounds like what Hitler was doing. Anyway, all right, let's start the podcast. I don't know if that's going to go in or not. If it does, fantastic start to the podcast, and it's why we're unique and different. But if it GG's. Right. Mr. JMY, welcome back onto the JakeMcBoss Podcast, episode number 17. I usually don't do this. I usually don't do like a little intro to start the podcast, but I feel like I have to for this one. It's been a while. 2 months. Also, we're doing the live podcast starting next Friday with Sci-Fic over on Twitch. There'll be a link in the description. So go over and if you're not following my Twitch, follow my Twitch. Don't be a weird bastard. Follow the Twitch, okay? Also, hope you had a good Christmas and a new year. It's good to be back. Oh, the charity podcast. So basically, we're doing 4 episodes of the podcast live, and then we're doing the charity podcast for 12 hours over on Twitch. So, yeah, go over and follow the Twitch. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And let's get into the podcast. Welcome back to the podcast. Hope you like the intro. We're here with Simon. JMY, the 3rd time you've been on the channel. Actually, 5th time. If we're being a 5th time. We've known each other for 3 years, by the way. 3 years.
That is bananas.
We were just talking about that before we started. That is actually... I don't even know how that's happened.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, time just fucking flies, especially with people who you meet online. Like, it's not even... There's no tangible way to, like, track it. Like, it's fucking weird.
It feels like 2 years, if we're being honest.
Yeah,
like,
it actually does.
Remember the first podcast we did? I feel like that was, like... In my head, that's the first time we met. You know what I mean? But it's like, 3 years. We met each other from, I think, obviously the Alexa stuff, but you were doing Fortnite customs at the time. And I remember going to your YouTube and all the boys in my Discord was like, oh, this guy, this famous Irish YouTuber, 12k subs at the time. He was like, oh, he's doing customs. And we just went in, we were playing, it was good crack. And then your internet couldn't handle it because you're from Mullingar. So it was like, yeah, GG.
Man, I get comments on my TikTok sometimes of people being like, I watched your stream like back in the day. I don't know how anybody actually sat there and watched them because they're in like 360p and they would cut out like every 7.5 minutes from the internet.
Yeah, no, YouTube as well. It's just like way laggier and shit compared to Twitch. I feel like you can get way more on Twitch, like quality wise. Like you can have a shittier internet system, like shittier internet, and it'll just come out better. How was your Christmas? Good Christmas?
Oh yeah, my Christmas was good. I got COVID, which is great.
Yeah, you're out drinking and stuff. You're a very sociable person, so.
Nah, I had the dinner with the family, and then the day after Christmas Day. I had symptoms, so I was locked down since then.
Any bad symptoms or what?
I just couldn't taste or smell, fucking nothing, which it wasn't too bad, like, but I didn't have any bad symptoms at all.
That's actually fucked up. Ever hear the stories of people who are like, they've had COVID and 6 months later they still can't taste or smell?
Oh man,
That genuinely
that
seems
was
like the
scary.
worst thing ever.
Man, I was thinking about this. Imagine if like the smell and tasting was like your sight and your hearing. Imagine how much more seriously people would take it. Like
Yeah.
that would be way scarier.
Might get a fucking vaccine then. Sorry, I'm not trying to get political at the start. Um, yeah, I had like a full segment with Jen in the last podcast we did about the COVID vaccine and all that shit, and I don't really want to get back into it because I would lose. Not that I lose brain cells at your opinion, I lose brain cells at the comments, and people be like, oh, especially to start as well, like, you know what I mean. So let's just stay away from that for the moment anyway.
Yeah.
But New Year, any New Year's resolutions?
Fuck man, I don't really know. I just want to keep going to the gym as much as possible. Keep putting on as much mass as possible. I would love to blow up on the YouTube and the TikTok. That would be great. Change the scene a bit, but yeah.
Would you move out
That's
if you
kind of-
blew up then? Like where would you move to if you blew up overnight or something?
Well, the goal right now is I'm supposed to be living in Letterkenny right now,
Yeah.
but Boogan. Oh wait, hang on 2 seconds. Some fucking dickhead's ringing me. I need to use the phone. Yeah, no. So basically, I'm supposed to be living in Letterkenny right now. The idea was to move there, make content. But Boogan has to sort out some shit with like his personal life and family.
That's Donegal, isn't it?
college
Letterkenny. Donegal?
Yeah, it's right. Yeah, it's right up the top. It's like actually pretty desolate, and to travel anywhere else is a pain in the hole. But it's either that or live here, and I would much rather live in Letterkenny just because I'd be a bit more free.
Do you reckon
Like, do what I
you
want.
get homesick of like your family and like Huey and all that, or no?
I don't think so. I think I'd start having the crack, and then that would kind of be pushed to the side. Like,
Yeah.
I love my family, and I'd still be seeing them like once every 2 weeks, I'd imagine. So
I feel like I
Nice.
wouldn't miss them at all. No offense if they're watching the podcast. I wouldn't miss any of you. Actually, I'd miss my nephew and my niece a little bit because I like taking them,
Yeah.
walking and stuff, as you do with the van. Sorry, that was a joke. But like, yeah, I'd probably miss them, but like, I don't think I'd miss my family. Actually, I think like when you're this age, it's important to kind of like find yourself and like move out and like know who you are as a person and kind of be independent. It's way more important, I feel like, for personal development. Like we can all develop on our own and get more confident or like, like overcome anxiety and all that shit on our own. But like once you're out of the comfort of your own house, you can actually finally like kind of be on your own and like have your own thoughts and be your own independent thinker.
oh, for sure.
Which is something they don't teach you in school, actually. Funny old thing that. I was thinking about that the other day, actually. Like, this is a complete tangent. But, like, it's crazy the way, like, secondary school is literally just to prepare you for jobs, like working in an office, like 9 to 5 jobs. It's actually meant to when you think about it.
Yeah, but it's sad because like we need people to work 9 to 5s is the fuck thing about it.
Yeah.
Like, and I know I don't know. It's just weird. Like if you're going to be different, like that's kind of on you as a person.
Yeah.
Like if you get me, like especially nowadays when you have the internet. Like I don't think there's. Maybe back in the day it was different because that's just how the system was. But nowadays, like there's no real excuse for anybody to work a job they don't really want to work.
This might be this might be a weird question, yeah. But do you reckon the people I've always found, right, the people who are in government, you have to be a special type of psychopath to want power and to be in that position. Do you feel that way at all? I'm actually curious to see what you think because you're a bit more smarter than I am in terms of the whole like because you're older than me, like you're 2-3 years older than me, so it's like I actually value your opinion on that.
I mean, that's like, but to get to the top of anything, you have to be
A cunt.
a bit not right. Like, yeah, you have to be like it's like in nature. Like the person who ate the most and had the biggest fucking town or whatever back in the day would have been the strongest and the biggest predator. And it's the same nowadays. Like, yeah, but like the thing about, do you know what's the maddest thing about politicians? They get paid extra to be a good politician. There should be no incentives for being a good politician. That should be like the baseline.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is the maddest thing. Like,
Well, the reason that was probably brought in is because everyone was so bad. It's like we need you to up the fucking level, Boris. You little fucking bastard. It's actually mental, like how the whole country over in the UK hates Boris Johnson. Like it is unilateral support of hatred towards that man. I don't think anyone likes him.
oh, he's a fucking arsehole.
Yeah.
Boris Johnson is a straight up arsehole. And he's been like publicly racist like a load of times.
Wouldn't be like me, would it?
Which is fucking mental. Like some of the shit that comes out of that man's mouth is mad. Like, and he was majority voted into power. Like,
Yeah, I mean, the whole Brexit shit, I'm not even going to get into this because I will actually get so angry and pissed off. So I got Liverpool jersey for Christmas, right? Happy as Larry. I thought this was amazing. Got charged €50 customs. You're not allowed to get your package unless you pay 50 quid. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? 50 quid for a fucking package? Like, honestly, what the fuck? Like, I don't even understand the whole Brexit thing. Independence, like all this shit, but it's like at the same time, you're still like if you're like an everyday regular person, like it doesn't really change that much. You just have like an extra couple of taxes and stuff for other people. I don't know, it's weird.
Just politicians or like politics in general, just a lot of the times when it comes into conversation, I just kind of blank my mind and kind of white noise is playing because I just CBA thinking about it. Like
it's all like fucking like the main thing is like going against the grain, and like if there's like a big massive public problem, like the housing crisis in Ireland is a massive thing at the moment. So whatever party gets in, doesn't matter what belief they have, their whole like campaign will be based around the housing crisis in Ireland, and they'll try, but they won't end up fixing it. Like they'll put some bit of money into it. Like it's just so when they're building one of the fucking whatever the fuck roads in Limerick to Dublin, where the fuck it was, like apparently a load of money went missing and shit. It's like, you know what I mean, like.
they've been building that hospital in, I think it's somewhere in Dublin, and it's supposed to be like the biggest hospital in Europe, and they've been building it for I think 9 or 10 years now, and they've sunk like €1.2 billion into it, and nobody can account for where half of the money is gone.
That's Ireland. That's Ireland. You know what I mean? That is
literally.
I can imagine Micheál Martin just above and just. I'm actually not going to say that because I will get in trouble if I say that. So let me rephrase. I feel like Micheál Martin would have a lovely dirty wank just looking at all this corruption. I just feel like he'd love. I feel like he's the type of guy to like look at that and be like, oh, that hospital's not built. Lovely. Like that sort of way.
Oh, he's a seedy bastard, man. Even to look at him, you just know he's a fucking wrong. And like,
I prefer Leo Varadkar, and I actually hate we're after starting on politics, but I'm going to go with it because I think it's interesting. Leo Varadkar, I actually feel like he was a way better politician and a person than Micheál Martin, but it's actually interesting seeing like how the country's kind of gone against Leo Varadkar because Leo the leak and all this shit. And I don't even think was it that important at the time, like the whole leak shit, or was it just like people jumping on him because they don't like him?
I know like for 100% fact that like anybody else who would have leaked that would have got jail time, but he got like
oh shit
out of it because he was the Taoiseach. And I, honest to God, I don't know too much about it just because I block out politics so much. But I don't know. Like Leo's a bit more human than Micheál, but I think in general he's still one of them. Like the maddest thing is, right, Sinn Féin hands down like got the most votes in the general election. And Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael decided to make a coalition with the Green Party. So those three would be like one big party, and that's the reason Sinn Féin aren't in government. And I think that is just bananas. Like if that happened in any other country,
so much. Like that's not democracy, though. Like in my opinion.
Yeah, like regardless of who you're voting for in that situation, like you should look at that and be like, okay, that's a bit mental that everybody voted for them, and they've just gone, nah, we're not doing that.
The world is so fucked. Like I'm not even like joking. The world as a whole is so fucked from top to bottom. Like the wealth divide. We're getting to very political issues. Is amazing. But like the whole wealth divide and like the people who are in power. Like I was kind of like looking at the whole Epstein stuff like the last couple of weeks. Cause that Maxwell one got put down for it. Not like a Todd, like actually like put into prison for it. And it's just like it's fucking mental that the elite of the world had a fucking pedophile island. Like in my head, that is just like imagine. I think Alex Jones. I don't know if you know who Alex Jones is. You probably do. He said 15 years ago that this was happening, and then it comes out 10 years later that this is actually happening. It's fucking mental.
Do you know what the most mental thing about that is? There was a load of records that Epstein's jet had visited here, and I think it was Bertie Ahern that was on the jet. I swear to God. And all the files were there, and they were like, right, let's go get the file. Every single, there was thousands of pages, I'd imagine, that were shredded and completely got rid of, and there's now no evidence of that jet being there, which is fucking bananas.
Do you know what they should have? Man, that's where they got the plot for Mrs. Brown's Boys, the movie, when they deleted the fucking, they got rid of the receipt, but there was still a Braille version. I just imagine Bertie Ahern be like, oh my God, there's a Braille section. Fuck.
I think it might not be Bertie Ahern. It was one of them. It was one of them.
Bertie Ahern.
Yeah, it was one of them, and it was like guaranteed, like it happened. And the fucking plane came here like 14 times, and like the trip was made like 14 times with like someone in power that was here, and all records of it were shredded. What the fuck,
They're just
man?
stopping for petrol, man. Oh, you know what I mean? That is actually, I've never heard that. That's amazing. I want to look into that now. Actually, now that you've said that, I'm gonna look into that after the stream. That is crazy. I think there's definitely a joke there for the next video about that, and I'm going to use that. I don't care. But yeah, getting off of politics,
Thank
because
God.
we might come back to it in a bit actually. Because I want to talk about like the whole Ireland and the school situation with COVID and just going back to school. Like I feel like it's a relevant subject to come back to. So we will come back to that like towards the end. But 2021 recap for you. How would you describe 2021 in like? Well, how would you describe 2021 for you?
I'd say 2021 was the year I matured the most as a human being, straight up. I think I learned the most about myself, and yeah, it was pretty good. Had a lot of setbacks, but also made a lot of progress personally, and it set me up big time for like 2022 and 2023. So, as much as it was AIDS, it was alright for me, to be honest.
I learned a lot with myself as well. I feel like because the lockdown, you obviously there's a lot of like you talk to more online people, but like I feel like there's more, you can think more deeply about like what you're actually doing if you put the time into thinking about that sort of stuff. Like you've more time to think about like what you want to do with your life, or how do you want to be, or what goals you want to achieve and stuff. And it's a bit more, I don't know, like that's just my perception of it. I don't know if I've explained it well, but I feel like over lockdown I've been able to think more deeply about like who I am as a person, and more clear minded, more like omniscient kind of who I am as a person. Like, and I feel like I've like this year for me, like development wise, like you said, is just, I feel like I've overcome a lot. Like I've experienced a lot as well, which is weird. Like it was like my first year out of school, like, and I just like the start of like the year for me was like absolute depression. Like like this time last year was just absolute fucking depression. Like I just didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I was like, I took a year out after school, and I did my leaving cert late, so like I didn't even have like my results until like February or March, like, which is mental. Like, so I didn't even have like any sort of comprehension of what I wanted to do after this period of my life. So I was just there like every single day, like all my friends are off doing apprenticeships, or they're off doing fucking whatever they're doing down Waterford, like they're down going to college and all this shit. I'm just here doing nothing all day. And I remember thinking around April and May last year, like when I was doing the podcast, I remember doing one with Blue Van Man. And I was just like, because Blue Van Man, like if you obviously, a lot of you guys probably don't know who he is, but like he's like 55 years of age ish, worked his entire life as like, you know, working class, like, and that's completely fine. But like he's worked his entire life as like a paycheck to paycheck kind of guy. And I was like, I really do not want that for my life. I want to be like some bit financially stable. And he's happy as fuck. Like he is the missus, he is the daughter and stuff. Like he's loving life. But yeah, it just, that kind of put a lot of things in perspective for me. I want to be financially stable this year. I think that's my biggest goal.
Each to their own type thing. Like people like me and you, we want a bit more, but then like there's people my age who are perfectly content just waking up, doing the thing they love, being in the community where they are, and that's just what they like to do. Like,
do you know what, one thing actually I've been thinking about recently? How like I feel there's a lot of people who set goals but they never reach the goals. So it's like I've been thinking recently, if you start setting like really, really small goals and start beating those goals, at least you have like the knowledge in the back of it, like you can beat a goal. It doesn't matter what goal it is. Like just drink a water every day, or fucking go on a little run. Like just little goals like that. But like I feel like there's a lot of people who are like, I want to reach 200,000 subscribers this year. This is my goal, and they don't hit it, and then like they're like, oh, I didn't hit my goal, so I'm fucking useless. I can't do that. I can't do this. What's your thoughts on that?
I think the problem with big goals like that is people will go, I'm gonna hit 1 million subscribers, and then they just sit there. And it's like when you set a goal, and I'm a bastard for it. I've set probably 50, 60 goals where I'm like, that's it, I'm doing that, and then I don't set a plan as my issue. Like I'll start doing what I think I need to do, but the problem is I can't keep that up day to day because I never actually set it out. Whereas this time, when I've set the goals, like when I've set the fitness goals, I know I'll go to the gym this amount of times per week, I'll train this, I know by this time I'm going to have this type of body. And I know on TikTok and YouTube this time, if I do this in this type of time frame and I do this consistently, then I will achieve those goals.
Yeah, I feel like with content creation, a lot of people are like, it's crazy because a lot of people when they're like, oh, I want to blow up, they think of like Tommy in it, and they're like, oh, this guy went from nothing to like millions. Like people love this guy. It's crazy. And when it's actually like 99.9% of people who achieve in this platform have to actually continuously grind every day. And I'm not saying Tommy didn't grind, fuck me. I'm just saying like in comparison, like he's just a freak of nature compared to like the regular YouTuber, the regular content creator. Like you actually have to work every single day of your fucking life if you want to achieve this lifestyle, and it's not easy at all.
I even think like people don't see the probably fucking 8 hours a day Tommy's looking at stats fucking in Discord calls or off other people fucking taking notes, fucking making videos, fucking thinking of ideas. Like people don't anybody who's successful at anything, like the 99.99%, as you said, like they're there for a reason. Like they're there because they put in the extra mile. Like
It's crazy though, because there's no like one way of going about being a big YouTuber, and it's like that's obviously the main thing that we're trying to achieve. I feel like this year is to try and like get substantial growth. But it all comes with experience. I get some people who are like, Jake, I'm 15, I'm in school, and I don't know how to start YouTube. I don't know what to start doing and stuff. And I'm like, it's actually a hard question to answer because it's like when I was 15 doing YouTube, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. So it's like you're not supposed to understand what you're doing. But the one thing that I look back on now is it's like you have people like Clicks who are playing Fortnite, and like people are like 13, 14, 15 blowing up. So you definitely can do it at that age. Just you have to have a different mindset and a different. I feel like I don't know. It's difficult. Like I feel like if you're at that age, you actually have to be good at something. Like you have to be really good at Fortnite. You have to be really good at something. But like I feel like 10 years ago, if you were like, oh, I want to be a footballer. Okay, well work hard for it. In 2021, it's like I want to be a social media influencer. What are you good at? I want to be a social media influencer. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, literally. Like, oh man, it's fucking weird. Like, just going back to like when people ask, like people who are 15 and they're like, how the fuck do I do this? You just have to start. Just start doing something, anything. Anything I've ever done in my life, I'm like, I wish I started this thing earlier. Like I wish I just started doing it earlier. There's not a single thing I've ever attempted and I've gone, I'm grateful that I started when I started. Do you know what I mean? I'm always wanting to start earlier. So just fucking stop fucking giving a fuck about what other people think and just fucking start. Like if you want to make content, just start. Set up your fucking phone, start talking into the phone. If you don't like the video, delete it and make another one. Don't like that one, delete it and make another one. And just keep doing it. And through repetition and consistency, you'll be good at making videos.
It's difficult though, because I feel like I spent a lot of, like I started doing YouTube in 2015. So it's like, I've been doing it for a while, but I've not grown a lot in 7 years. Like, 7 years? 7 years. It's like, I've put in a lot of time, but it's like I don't see a lot of growth. Like obviously in the last like year I have, but like in the last like 7 years, like if I've been doing YouTube for 7 years and I have 8K subs, I've gone up like 1,000 a year, whatever the fuck, like something like that. It's like you have to. There's not one way of growing stuff, like growing. But it's like when I was younger, I learned these. Like I've always had the perception in my mind I want to be like Jacksepticeye. Like that's always been like. So like I've always I think the biggest tip that I can give is whatever type of content you want to make, watch the people who are the best at that type of content. And actually learn off them and take tips, like how do they record? And it's not even the fact of like, if you don't have enough equipment or you don't have enough money to get the equipment, just getting the fundamentals down. And if you're actually good at making content, then you can start investing in it, in my opinion. Like True Geordie started YouTube making fucking football videos on his fucking phone, like his iPhone 3, like. So anyone can do it with a smartphone. And it's like, if you want to be a podcaster, it's difficult. I actually get a lot of people asking me on Twitter DMs, like, how do I start doing a podcast? Like, what software do I need and shit? And I've seen people who are just there on their phone. And it's like, I really don't know. It's like, I'm probably not the best person to ask. Like, but if you want to start a podcast, the bare minimum you need is to just have a personality. And even if you don't have it's kind of contradicting to what I just said. Like, but even if you just have a smartphone, you can talk into a smartphone for an hour. You can go live on YouTube and Twitch or Twitter and just do a fucking stream for an hour and just start off with that. And every single minute you put into making content, the more experience you'll get and the better off you'll be long term, I feel like.
Yeah, literally. Like, just to add on top of that, a great example of somebody who doesn't, like, put any money into their videos whatsoever, and still, he's, like, one of the biggest people just in England on the internet right now, is fucking Cal the Dragon. He is actually gargantuan.
The ginger guy.
And, yeah. And, bro, all he does is he uses an Android. It's not even an iPhone. He just sets his phone up and just is awful at football for, like, a minute and a half. That is all it takes. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't even have to be fucking talented to do content these days. Like,
literally.
And it's often the most talentless people who will end up blowing up. It's always it's. I've never understood though the whole like blowing up thing. I don't. It's hard until I feel like you actually experience it, what it's like. But like blowing, like Tommy in it, for example, right? Like he blew up, and I was watching the podcast he did with Logan Paul. I don't know if you watched that as well, like 6 months ago. It's crazy. Like it's not luck though. It's like it can be luck, but it's like he came with new, fresh ideas, a new style of shit, and he like reunited or revolutionized Minecraft again, and it's just crazy. Like, so even like stuff that you think is fucking dead, you might be playing RuneScape there might be a market. You know what I mean? Like, it's, I don't know, like the whole blow up thing blows my mind because it's just incomprehensible for me to even think about it. Because I've never been the type of guy to be like, oh, I want to blow up in YouTube. I just want to consistently grow and just do it. Like hit my little goals, like 50k subs, 100k subs, and blow up that way. Blowing up on YouTube seems like the most impossible thing like imaginable in my head because I just don't understand how it works. Like,
I mean, I used to think that loads. I used to always think I missed my opportunity with the if Alexa was Irish thing, and I used to be like, ah, well, that's it. Like that's the chance gone. But the more I just intake YouTube content in general, and the more I try to learn about YouTube, I can objectively look at it and just be like, this is just actually easy if you give it enough time. Like, it might take a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, but if like you stick at it and you learn enough, I honest to God, think it's possible for anybody.
What do you think is the one thing that a content creator should be like continuously thinking in the back of their mind when they're making a video?
How to make something entertaining. How to get a viewer to watch from beginning to end, finish watching the video and go, I enjoyed that. Not watch the video from beginning to end and go, that was a bit shite. Like, I didn't really get what I want.
Yeah,
you know?
The viewer experience should always be the number one priority in the back of your head. Even though, like, I feel like it's different though, because when you're starting YouTube, you want to learn it. It doesn't really matter. Like, you could have no viewers or no one watching, but just making the content is good enough. But once you get to a certain stage, maybe like 1k subs, 2k subs, and you kind of want to like start doing it properly. And doing it properly is fucking difficult because I've been trying to do it properly for the last 6 months, and it's really fucking hard. Like, it is really, like, it is not easy. It's one of the most difficult things I've tried to do in my life is to try and do this YouTube thing and be professional and try and be like, I say professional, I mean like have good thumbnails and have good production quality and like for the podcast to like flow well and like for videos to like be entertaining at a really fast pace. It's really fucking difficult to find a unique thing to do on YouTube that's not, especially that's not gaming, because you have to come up with your own ideas and stuff like that. What do you think is a difficult question to ask? I feel like everyone's different, but how do you feel like someone can find their niche or find something that they're really, really good at or find their avenue on YouTube?
I think it depends on the person. Like, if you like cooking, fucking start cooking. Just go to YouTube, search, put in cooking, look at the videos, look at the top creators, look at they're doing, and try just think of something that's slightly off. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to become Gordon Ramsay overnight. Just do something that they're not doing and make it as engaging and as entertaining as you can.
That's actually, I'm just thinking now, I want to bake a sliced pan or something, and just that would actually be funny as fuck. Just making a sliced pan with my humor. So I'm just making like sexual innuendos about, well, that would be my side anyway. Just being like, oh, so I'm fingering the bread and I'm just, you know what I mean? Like that's actually not a bad idea. It's just something simple like that. I feel like that someone can take and just put their own twist and shit. And like, I feel like the way that Jacksepticeye blew up or the way Markiplier blew up in that way, I don't feel like you can do that anymore. And obviously I'm open to be proven wrong, but like the very like vague titles and the very not great thumbnails. I was talking to you about this about 4 or 5 months ago, and you actually said that it's just their audience are watching now and not like new people, which is actually, I actually agree with that now looking back at it.
Yeah. It's like, see, they blew up in a time of YouTube where the whole algorithm was different. Like, it straight up just preferred watch time. So the longest videos with like the most watch time would get recommended. That's why like their playthroughs would, or like their, what the fuck are they called? Where they were like commentating over the games and they were playing like
Let's Plays.
Yeah, Let's Plays, that's it. Like, that's why they did well, because they were so long and like people liked them or whatever. Whereas if you try to do that nowadays, it's just not going to fly because the audience retention is going to be on the floor. What's
the most important metric then to look at if you're trying to grow on YouTube?
I think it's two. I think it's click-through rate and audience retention. Any video on YouTube I've ever watched, any like article I've ever read, any Paddy Galloway video I've ever watched, it's always click-through rate and audience retention.
Can you explain what click-through rate is for retards watching?
So click-through rate is, let's say 100 people see your video on YouTube and they're recommended. And let's say 5 out of the 100 click that video would then have a 5% click-through rate.
Yeah.
And that's what click-through rate is. So it's the amount of people who click through to the video.
Have you ever looked at your impressions on YouTube, like for a month or whatever? I've had months where I've had like 500,000 impressions, and then I've gone up like 10k, like 15, 20k views, and I'm like, I actually am contemplating getting a rope now. This is not fun at all to look at.
Oh man, YouTube stats are actually mental. You like the amount of substance they put into their metrics is
Yeah.
mad. Like the amount you can learn from them is ridiculous. Like TikTok's fucking metrics and fucking analytics are shite. They're useless. Like
Yeah.
they're so bad.
So I kind of move off this in a second, but like, do you feel like if you're starting YouTube, so say you're starting with like 0 subs and you're watching this podcast and you're like, I want to give it a good go. What's the first thing that you would do as, say if you were to start all over again with the same knowledge you have now? If you were to pass on your knowledge to someone else and be like, okay, 0 subs, this is what you should do. What would you do?
What would I do? I just start making content. I would try get obsessed with it. I would start watching loads of content. And when you're watching the content, don't, what's the word? Not being conscious while using the internet is by far the biggest waste of time. I don't think scrolling through the internet is bad if you can do it consciously. Like you
Yeah.
actually know what you're intaking. Whereas sometimes when you're doing it, you're scrolling Twitter, Instagram, your TikTok, even sometimes when you're watching YouTube videos, you like finish like an hour of scrolling and you get nothing from it. So if you're trying to get better at content,
Tell you said
at making
cotton there. I
content,
was like, ooh.
yeah.
Made in China, you say?
I would start consciously watching the content and be like, what is he doing to gain my attention here? And then trying to apply that to what you're making.
Literally 100, like literally the only tips that I can give someone if they're starting with 0 is to watch the content that you want to try and make and see if you can almost replicate it. Same with like music and shit as well. If you want to be like Juice WRLD or something, get a Juice WRLD type beat and just, try and like open up and, what I mean, like try and sound similar, I guess. Well, not sound similar, but like you can always take stuff from other people without plagiarizing them. That's like a really, really important thing. There's so many people who, even with my videos I've seen in the past, someone tried to copy my Irish geoguesser and I was like, this is just brilliant. I love this because it was so bad. And it's like, because you cannot be like the whole Irish geoguesser, the whole point of it is like someone, I think his name was Trax on Twitter, was like, Jake, so out of the people who watch Irish geoguesser, do you reckon they watch it for the Irish geoguesser or they watch it for you? And I'm like, it's probably 99% about me and then like 1% about GeoGuessr, if I'm being honest, because my personality is what captivates people on TikTok and stuff to bring them over. So I don't know, I feel just having a good personality, and even like if you're a boring cunt, which actually is often the case with a lot of these people who try and copy ideas and stuff, because they're like, oh, an easy way to do this, or this is how you do it, the easy way, the fast way. Just actually, there's a fucking echo. Is it an echo off my mic or your mic? Oh, it's Bleach from the fucking Discord. That's actually putting me off. I'm putting my music back on. That is, I can hear myself talk twice. What was I saying? Yeah, don't plagiarize. Don't be a fucking dickhead. Do your own unique content. Learn off of other people, but don't take their ideas and stuff. That's what I'm trying to say. Going back to 2021, what would you say is the most important thing you've learned about yourself? I asked you, did I ask you that already? But like I asked in a different way. What's like the most important thing you've learned about yourself this year?
That I can do more that I think I'm capable of. See, when I was a bit younger, when I first started doing YouTube, I thought I could do more than I actually could. And then I was humbled really quick and I went through like a really rough period. And then I had to learn that like life ain't that easy. And then I kind of went the other way where I didn't think I could do anything. But throughout 2021, I've kind of got back to a place now where I realise I'm putting my ceiling lower than it needs to be. And I'm ready to fucking through that
Your
fucking
potential
bastard.
is mental. And actually, the one thing that I always said about your content, well, not your content, but you as a brand, is like, do you know the way, like, this is a really weird thing to say, but do you know the way, like, I have like a Twitter audience as well. Like, I have like what, like 1,000 followers on Twitter, but I have like a Twitter audience and I have like a YouTube audience. You've always had like a YouTube audience, but you've never had like on other social. But now with the TikTok, I've gotten so many people who've been like, oh, I've seen that guy on my For You page. What does that feel like? You're actually like trying to you're branch over to other audiences and you're finding new people and different people from other platforms.
It feels good. I can't wait to give those people the content that like Ireland has been deserving for so long. And I'm not just saying this to say it, but honest to God, from the bottom of my heart, I genuinely think I'm going to change the Irish scene. Maybe this year. It might take 2 years, but I'd like to do it this year because the level of shit that's coming, man. Oh my God, I'm actually getting excited thinking about it.
You've like a load of collabs and stuff like in the works with like I'm not even gonna say it, but like you've a load of collabs and stuff in the pipeline.
Mm.
I think I've never actually looked at someone and been like, you're doing good. Like you are doing good. Like you are doing exactly what you need to be doing. And it's only a matter of time before you actually blow up. And we're sitting here in fucking 5 years' time and this podcast has fucking 5 million views. Remember like XXX, he went on No Jumper and he blew up and he's like, oh, well, that's 50 million views. Jesus, subscribe while you're here. You know what I mean? 15 years' time. But yeah, no, I think you've way more potential than I have, even though you're older. And maybe I'm just being naive as fuck, but you have like a way better understanding of YouTube and the way that it works. And you're way more of a trendsetter, and also like more of a you catch on to other trends and you can see what's coming next. You're like Logan and Jake Paul of like Ireland, in my opinion. Even though they're thick as fuck, but deep down they're actually just really, really smart at YouTube and content. That's what you're kind of like in my eyes.
Yeah, I don't want to be fucking tooty me fucking own horn.
I'll
Fucking
go for it, man.
here.
Honestly, who gives a fuck? It's our podcast. We'll do what we want.
But like it's taken it's taken a long time to get where I am. Like straight up, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I haven't like done anything else with my life the past few years. I came out of school depressed as fuck, dealing with a load of fucked up shit in my personal life. I didn't go out. I don't do anything else. The last like 4 or 5 years of my life has been social media and learning it straight up. So when I do get to reap my rewards and I do get to make the content I make, and hopefully when I get to elevate the Irish scene, it's going to be fucking sweet and it's going to feel good, because I've been down for a minute, like on my life. That's just the straight up facts of the situation. Like
a lot of people think it's actually weird, like that there's not like a college course to be like how to be a YouTuber. I feel like that's gonna happen at some stage, like a full college course how to be a YouTuber, because there's social media courses, and in my eyes they teach you fuck all. They teach you how to do like you can learn, like the fucked up thing about college, you can learn everything you learn in college online now. It's actually mental, but it's just like you go in and you get your degree and stuff. That's why, well, I'll be straight up, like I'm gonna drop out of college this month. I had a talk with a few people and I was like, I'm not having fun. I was doing a film and broadcasting course. That was next year. I was doing a fucking a computing course, so like coding and stuff like that. And it was generally the worst thing I've ever tried to do in my life. It was just so unfun. My biggest thing to like for anyone who's trying to find what they want to do in life is do something you genuinely enjoy. And if you don't enjoy anything, you haven't found what you love yet. So you have to keep experimenting. But like I know exactly what I love doing. I love making content. I love like setting up the cameras and shit like that. Like I'm in my absolute element right now, just like talking to a fucking microphone where you just like, it's just, I can't think of anything else I'd want to do in my life than do this, you know what I mean?
I just want to say one thing about the whole college thing. Please make sure you like actually think about that, because I made the decision not to go to college, and it's honest to God one of the biggest regrets I've ever had. One, because it's an essential experience, I'd say. Like going to college and just talking to other people is brilliant. Two, it was just harder to find people that want to make videos with me. Like when you're in a college, like especially if you're doing like a film course or something, you're around like-minded people all the time, which is really, really important. So just before you fully make that decision, just properly think about it, because it's fucking hard when YouTube is your only thing. Like it's the college will help more than you think.
Yeah, like I can give a little bit of experience from like obviously not do, like I took a year out after school. It's a very, very lonely life if you take a gap year after school, and this is the thing that a lot of people don't understand. They're like, oh, a free year to do fuck all, you know, like just get to sleep all day or just do this or whatever. It is the biggest waste of a year, and I think the first year after college or the first year after school is the year you learn the most about yourself. And in my opinion, if you take a gap year, you learn more negative than positives, in my opinion. You learn what you learn what you don't want to do, but like if you waste a year of your life, just think about that. You're wasting a full year of your life that you can spend learning something else or getting ahead of the game on other people.
Yeah.
And I was so retarded, Simon. I can't even comprehend like this retardedness. And when I left school, I was so stupid. I was like, I want to do YouTube, and I didn't have a fucking clue what type of content I want to make. I was literally there copying Cypher PK videos, trying to just do well. Like, new cars in Fortnite. I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, And I had no plan, no nothing. So then when I got to December of 2020, I was actually just in a clinical depression because that didn't work. That didn't work. Oh, I tried my best and it didn't work. I was fucking retarded. I wasn't putting any work in and I was just being a fucking lazy bastard. And I'm kind of doing it now as well. But it's like the last 4 months of actually going to college, like you said, learning, you learn a lot about yourself. And I couldn't hack it because my anxiety is so fucking bad. And it's something I want to talk about someday. We might talk about it later, but like my anxiety is so bad to the level where I'm constantly worrying about like how I'm going to get into college. What time's that bus leaving? I'm fucking shitting it. Like going on public transport my own, or like I've always lived in like a place that has like a 1,000 people max. And I've never been the type of guy to do shit on my own. I've always had my friends to go with me. Even with like discos and shit when I was younger, like I had to have people go with me and stuff. And it's like, I've never been the type of person to do stuff on my own. So having to like traveling out of college on my own every day was really fucking daunting. So that's one of the reasons why I dropped out. And I got like sick and shit like November. It wasn't COVID. It was like to my chest. Apparently I got an injury playing football. The biggest thing that I actually loved about college though, like when I was in there, was like finding like-minded people. And I've actually already made friends that I'll probably have for life, like honestly, just from like playing football and stuff. But the course was boring. The people in my course were boring. I shagged the only good-looking lass in the fucking college course, and the rest of them, I feel like they all have rabies. And this is me trying to be a dickhead. There was one girl in the class who I actually kind of liked, and I shagged her. But the rest were like, I actually couldn't tell you what's in their underpants. Like there could be anything going on. Like I really like, and that's mean to say, but like, and I'm all for the LGBTQ LMA community and stuff. But like, yeah, no, you have to enjoy the course you're doing for college, in my opinion, or you have to have like you have to be able to like, okay, next year I can work up to this course, or I can do that, whatever. The biggest thing, I just put like the pros and cons in my head of like with college. Am I going to be able to find a job after this when I'm done? Probably not, because it's just like everyone does this. It was a very basic entry-level college course, and I feel like anyone who does like a master level will always have like an edge over you in any department you want to go into. And that maybe that's just dogmatic, and maybe in a couple of years' time I'll regret that and be like, oh, I wish I had this qualification or the fuck. But I feel like if I ever wanted to get into radio or something like that, I feel like I could do that based off of my own like work that I can do with YouTube and stuff like that, if that makes sense. I mean, again, that might be stupid. I'm actually curious what you think about that.
It's a dodgy decision to make, but
yeah,
I feel like you've made that decision already. So now is like you need to put a plan in place, and you need to put a plan that's sustainable, that's going to keep you mentally healthy.
Yeah.
That is like the number one most important thing, is to keep on top of your mental health. Because I feel like it's a thing in Ireland as well, because it's such a niche thing here to do content, so it's so hard to find other people and to like socialize with other people, especially in real life, that share similar ideas to you. So
it is so hard. It is so hard to find people who actually understand content. It is I would actually say in Ireland, it's the biggest downside of living in this country. Is I can't even talk to my parents about making content because they do not understand it, because they're like way older than me. Like, it is extremely difficult to even talk about what my goals are. Like, if I was to say to my mom and dad, like, okay, I'm dropping out of college, this is why I want to drop out, this is the goal that I have for the next 12 months, this is what I want to do, this is how I'm going to do it, I can guarantee they'd probably be like, yeah, fair enough, okay. Which is great, like, cool or supportive. I just don't think the back of their head they understand what I want to do and what I want to achieve, which really fucking annoys me, like.
I mean, that's just how parents are. Like, that's just how life is in general. Like their parents before them, they would have been telling them like similar things. I'm gonna go do this, and their parents would have been looking at them like, "What? You're not gonna fucking do the same thing I did for 30 years?"
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things.
One thing with what I just said there is don't go dropping out of college to do content creation. Like, it's not for everyone. Like, I've been there, and I've also not been there. Like, as I said, I've not done college, and I have done college. And in my opinion, for your mental health, going to college is way better. Well, for me, it wasn't, but that's just like my own unique thing. But if you're really sociable and you love the crack and you love going out drinking with the boys, college is the shit. It is the best thing ever. Like, especially if you already know people going into the college and you're already like, okay, you have like one or two friends. I had no one, because like I said, I took a year out of college, so all my friends went off doing something else. They went off doing apprenticeships, or they went to be a mechanic, or they went off working somewhere else, and I just stopped talking to them, which is really bad, by the way. Like, if you take a gap year, stay close with your friends, for fuck's sake. Because I took a gap year where like COVID was fucking mad, so like everything was already locked in anyways. It's like, it was just difficult. Like, a load of different shit, which is difficult. So like if you are gonna if you are gonna go to college, if you have someone to go with you, that'd be amazing. And it'll probably be one of the best times of your life if you're doing a course you really want to do. And especially if you work your arse off in secondary school to get that college course, go and fucking do it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
But like for me personally, I just didn't enjoy it. And I still have that course there if I want to go back in September and I can start it again if I want to.
Oh, that's fucking sick.
Yeah, I referred the course and they were like very like, yeah, you can do this if you want to, like fair enough, you know what I mean? So cool. I have that as a backup in September. So I basically have 9 months to do content to the best of my ability. And I'm glad I did college at the same time because, as I said, I met some people, but I also gave myself 4 months to actually like get a plan in place for the new year, which I was always thinking in the back of my head. Like, I want to do this, I want to do that. Like, my little glow up that I had in like June or July with the GeoGuessr stuff put a lot of stuff into perspective. It opened my mind to so many ideas. And even now, like, when I'm not doing like a maze, I'm doing like 1,000 views a video, which is still decent. It's like, at least I have that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at least I have 1,000 people who will continuously come back and watch my videos. So I'm never truly alone. I feel like if I want to do like an Irish Reddit video, for example, like 800 views, like that's still okay. Like that'll keep me ticking over. But it's always like I feel like I've built a foundation to where I can actually now like grow upon that. I think that's probably the why I dropped out of college. Because I have that little foundation that I have now in place. And I think it's really, really important. So like what I would say is don't drop out of college to do content creation. But at the same time, if you're at a level where like you feel confident in yourself, like I'm very confident in what I'm going to do this year. So it's all individual. What would you say to people who probably, because you didn't go to college, what would you say to people who are like, oh, I don't want to do college, I don't want to do that, that just seems so boring, you know what I mean? Like, what would you say to them?
I would say just do it. Like, I would say whatever you're gonna do, put yourself in a position where whatever the thing is you're going to do, have that like benefit what you actually want to do. So let's say you want to do social media and you want to do content creation, but you don't want to go to college. Go do an arts course, a fucking film course, whatever course that you just go into college 2 or 3 days a week and just do that while you're doing social media on the side.
Yeah, PLC course, I think it's called, isn't it?
Yeah, a PLC, anything like that. And one, you're going to be surrounded by like-minded people. Yeah. And two, you're still going to have time to do what you want to do. Like, and you're going to have a qualification at the end of it, which might help with like whatever perception your parents have on what you're doing or whatever. Like, it might just get some fucking family members off your back.
Yeah, no, that's a real thing. Like, having stress to achieve is really like, that is fucked. I was like, it's crazy. In my family, I was always deemed the smartest, like a smart individual. Like, you know what I mean? I was decent in primary school. Like, I was good at like certain stuff. Like, but then once I got into secondary school, I just had no interest in learning. And I think I actually said this in one of the podcasts I've done before. I had this perception in my mind: the school was, you're just preparing for work 9 to 5, and it's like, I've always had the perception of school where it's like, it doesn't really teach you anything. You don't learn anything as a person. You don't learn to do taxes. You don't learn how to do anything significant. And it's all for the people who are just going to study for 6 hours a day and just be a robot. And that was the reason why I never got into school. And it's a dangerous mindset to have. And me saying this to people now might be like, oh shit, they might start fucking up their entire life. But no, like, it is genuinely a thing. Like, I went into secondary school with that perception, and it's weird. Like, in primary school, they don't teach you how to study. Like, they don't teach you like, this is what's going to happen in secondary school. This is what you should be prepared for. Which I think they should be doing, because I feel like a lot of people go into first year with not a lot of clarity of what first year is and what it is, and like, it's weird because then you're in second year, and like second year is like, in my opinion, like a DOS year kind of. Like, you can just do whatever the fuck you want, because like you can do fuck all and still like pull it back in third year, but you can also do a lot and then like have nothing to do in third year. So I just never liked secondary school. I had one of the worst principals I've ever seen be a principal ever, and he was a dickhead to me throughout my entire school, because I had that mindset. I had that mindset where I was like, I don't like school. School is so shit. It is so boring. I see no benefit in this. So I was always getting pulled up on little things and just getting in trouble for little things, getting suspended for little things. And even though I was like smart, and I would consider myself a smart individual, and I don't know, like, I feel like my brain works in a different way to the way someone who learns for 6 hours a day and, you know, who's very good at school and like very attentive and punctual. I feel like I'm smart in a different way, and I think you are as well. Like, But with like we're going back to this point with Ireland, it's like there's not really a lot of leeway. If you're smart in that way, there's not really a lot of fucking opportunities for you. I feel like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like up until like honest God, like probably nowadays, like the past couple of years, the only way you would do anything like creatively entertaining was through like RTE, or you would do something in a theater, and that was it. Like those were your two options. Like anybody that wrote skits, you'd have to fucking send those skits to the Republic of Telly or something and just pray to fucking Jesus Christ that they like them, or else fuck you. Like
what you said there about doing a post leaving cert course is actually something I feel like a lot of people snub. They're like, oh, this isn't college. This is just a bunch of fucking rejects going into fucking this course who didn't have enough points in their leaving cert. An actual fact, if you think about it, if you're in a position where that is an availability, and you think you're like, if you think you're like us and you're like semi smart, but you're not like good at like learning, like, well, I don't know if you're good at learning, but like for me, I'm not good at learning like in that way, like book smart kind of shit. Go and do that PLC course, because that's there for people I feel like who are creative but also don't know what they want to do with their life yet. And I feel like you can learn a lot from doing a PLC course. But at the time, I was like, oh, that's just a bunch of retards. I'm too good for that. Like, genuinely, that was my mindset. And I'm like, that is not a good way to be. Like, you have to be open to everything. And there's back routes into everything as well, which is another thing. Like, if you don't do good in Leaving Cert, there's back routes into anything you want to do. I took a back route. I didn't take the course I wanted to do. I took a course right below that with the assumption that in a year's time, I could go into the course I wanted to do. So there's always back doors into these things. Yeah, that got really off topic, didn't it? We should probably go on to the schools thing now while we're at this, actually. Like the whole like Irish school stuff, like it's massively relevant at the moment with people not being able to go, like people going back to school and Omicron is fucking. Just fucking. It's just fucking. It's just fucking.
It's fucking everywhere.
It's fucking everywhere. Every pub you go into, it's just like you are going to inhale some gas. That was again a Nazi joke.
Oh my god.
I'm surprised I've not got demonetized for like stuff that I say. It's crazy. I've only ever got demonetized once, and that's because I put cunt in the title with Gemma Doherty. That was the only time. But no, what do you think of the whole like Irish school stuff at the moment with the like Norma Foley and
oh man,
like
a poor woman.
Bro, can I give my opinion on the whole thing first, actually? Because I actually think no matter like if you go back to school now or if you go back in 3 weeks' time, Omicron is still there. Like you have to go back at some point. Like it's like if I was in school, I'd be like, oh, I don't want to go back to school, but I see all the boys like Philip and all my friends, like some of my friends being like, oh, this fucking gowl bag, like I don't want to go back to school. Like I still enjoy the Christmas, you know. Like it's like in 3 weeks' time, Omicron's still going to be a thing. Like you have to go back at some stage, and that's my like opinion on it. So yeah.
Right, this is going to be the only thing I say about COVID in this podcast because I hate talking about COVID in general. But like the main reason people are angry is because the cases. But like if you actually like look at the stats, nobody's really being hospitalized from Omicron. So there is like no real reason to actually close the schools.
Yeah.
But people are still just like, Norma Foley, fucking fuck you. Man, I made a fucking TikTok about Norma Foley and it was banging. It was going fucking apeshit and I got taken down for bullying and I did no such fucking
What
thing.
did you say? Come on.
I put a load of memes of her, right? There was one where there was a video of two women in America and one was swinging one around by the hair like that. Like actually like in a fight. That's probably what I got taken down for. And it was like me when I see fucking Norma Foley in the car park. And it was just shit like that. Like, but I didn't say that fucking wrong. So Norma Foley, I'm fucking calling you out, you dickhead.
I got taken down on TikTok once as well for violating community guidelines, but at the same time, I did get thrown in GeoGuessr into like a church place. I was like, oh, this isn't the mosque. I said something like that. I was like, this is probably not the best. And my fucking TikTok got shadow banned for like 2 weeks. So don't do that. Don't be racist. I feel like people think I'm racist and I'm actually not. We were having this conversation one night and I was like, on Twitter, and I was like, I'm not actually racist, but people are actually going to start thinking I'm racist because I can get away with a lot more because of the way that I am and the way that I like I can sit down and have do a podcast for 2 hours and just be semi-professional, have like a decent conversation and be like normal. But then I can also do a 10-minute video in GeoGuessr and just be the most absolutely obnoxious cunt on the fucking platform. But like, it's just the style of video. Like, if you do a short 8-minute video, you have to be energetic, you have to be hyper. And I feel like the funniest stuff for me to say is just the stuff that comes straight off my head straight away in that moment, and I just keep it in because it's funny, no matter the repercussions. And I know you have a different view on that. You want me to be a bit more like lenient, which is like fair enough. But I just say whatever the fuck comes to my mind. Yeah, I don't know.
It's just dodgy because like the audience you're building right now are gonna love the shit when they're young, but as you grow, it's a bit dodgy because they might grow out of that, and you might be leaving yourself in like a no man's land. So it's just something to think about. Like, a lot of the stuff you say is really funny, but then when you say the like, you have like next level shit that you say, and that puts a lot of people off. It puts fucking brands off as well. Which is really dodgy.
I was saying this on stream during night. I was like, I've gone past the point of no returns. Like, realistically, I don't think I can ever come back because these videos are there now, like, for life. Well, I can take them down, but like, they're there. Like, people now know that I say this sort of stuff, and I have my own little brand for myself, like, where I'm a bit brand risk and stuff. And it's like, I can never go back to being professional because people always be like, oh, do you remember he said this thing and he said that thing? I'm like, so I'm just being like, I don't care about brands. I'm going to do this shit on my own, and I don't want to have I don't want brand interference anyway. If you get to like the level of like Nick Merckx and shit, fair enough. But I don't want to work with brands anyway, in terms of, they give you a load of money, that's great, that's fantastic, but like, I don't think I'm going to suit a brand anyway, because I end up being a dickhead. Like, I was with AOS for like 6 months, and I was doing weird shit. I was just being a dickhead. Like, I was on contract, and I was being a weird cunt, like, in calls and stuff. I was like, I probably shouldn't be like this.
That's not good. Like, I hope.
Like, I've learned from it though. I've learned a lot from that. Yeah. Like, in terms of like working with a company and shit. Like, if you're paid to do something, you should probably just do it. You know what I mean? Like, be professional, like, and have a professional side in that aspect. No.
That is like, I think with you, I don't know if this is just me like looking at it objectively, and this could be me being a bit weird, but to me, you're still like very immature in like the way you are. And I think that's just you coming out in that way. So I think you will eventually grow out of that.
Yeah.
But that's just like my general take on it. Like, whatever about the AOS stuff.
Eventually, anal there. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's fucking sweating, thinking like some weird anal video was leaked or something.
I see one night with a cucumber. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? How would she fit a full 8.5? I think it was like 10 inches, man. Honestly, the cucumber was fucking massive. Like, look at this microphone, boys. It was like double the size of this, and it was the same girth, and she's after fitting that whole thing inside her minge. I was like, what is going on here? Like,
bro, I don't know how people survive that. Like,
I
think about it. How the fuck did she not die? Like,
recently, the last like month or two, and you can probably even tell by the way that I'm talking, I'm just not. I don't feel comfortable with some of the stuff that I'm saying, and I don't feel comfortable now. I feel like I can't concentrate on what I want to say and formulate a point, which I was always so good at. Remember, like the last podcast I did, maybe around the time with Jack Geigo and stuff. Like, it was the last like really good podcast where I could objectively like think, because I was doing podcasts so much. Like, I was like ingrained in like this sort of way of thinking, objective thinking, and like thinking outside the box and stuff. Whereas now that I've kind of gone away from podcasts, I've kind of gone more like fast paced, like chasing this kind of like really fast paced, funny kind of videos. I've lost all kind of like you said there, objective thinking, where it's like you're looking at yourself from like afar and like, what do other people see and stuff. And I've kind of lost that in my mind, so I need to get that back. And that's the whole point of like doing podcasts every week now, is to get that back, because I feel like it's very, very important for me to also have that other side to my brand, and it'll also keep me way chilled out, and also show people another side, like the professional side of me. And yeah, it's because that's actually why I was signed to AOS, because I had the professional side as well as the brand risk side. But when I got into AOS, I stopped doing the whole podcast stuff. So I actually think in the back of my mind, I stopped doing the podcast stuff, so I just turned into this fucking monster of a fucking content creator. It was like, I was just saying whatever the fuck, and I will change that. That is on my bucket list. It was actually funny you said that the other night to me, because I was like, this is actually something I want to change. And that was that's the main reason why I want to bring the podcast back. I feel like even in the last hour that I've been talking this, I've said a lot of stuff, but I've also not formed an opinion, or I've rushed around. I've not been able to like put my points all into one thing and be like, this is my point. You know, like, where I was always really, really good at that with the podcast, like having a point and having like an opinion. And I feel like recently, even on streams and stuff, I've been rushing stuff. I've not been like formulating my own opinions. I've been like taking stuff, and I just want to refocus on
Yeah.
who I am and like my opinions and like what I actually think. You know what I mean?
You still like exercise and run much?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
No. That can like exercise in general just helps so much with that. I feel like my brain would be like fucking out here, fucking all over the fucking shop, not doing nothing if I wasn't exercising.
Yeah, I exercise mainly because my anxiety gets absolutely fucking uncontrollable some nights where I'm just here like I have anxiety attacks, I would say at least once a week.
Mm.
And it might be I don't know. It's hard to describe to someone who never had it before, but it's basically like a feeling of like you do not know what the fuck is going to happen. And it's like you just start overthinking everything and you just start like you start breathing more heavily and like it's generally I don't know why I have it. I don't know what the fucking like why I've gotten it, but it's just one of those things I have to live with now. But running and exercise, I feel like for mental health is really, really, really important. And it's actually something I started doing because of you, because what you said to me I think the last podcast we did over the summer, you're like, go out running, do all this, and I was like, yeah, okay, fair enough. And I started doing that again, and I feel like I think a lot, not think a lot clearer, but it's weird. I say like what I've just said there for the last like 5 minutes about like not being able to construe my own opinions. In my head, I do. I have my own like thoughts and I have like my own. It's just hard for me to convey them sometimes. But like the whole running and stuff really does clear your mind, and it gives you like it can like clear your mind basically. Like it just if you have like a lot of stuff you're dealing with, or if you have a lot of stuff in your head that you're like trying to figure out and trying to learn, going out running and just maybe even writing down your thoughts afterwards can really, really clear your head. I'm not really talking about like political opinions or like your opinion on this matter. I don't know if I'm like that's not what I'm trying to say. It's just like your actual like what do I want to do with my life? What do I want to do for next month? This is really like this girl is really stressing me out in my head. Like she's just fucking with me. I'm gonna go for a run. I'm gonna actually think about it and just. I feel like when you're stuck inside as well, like a lot of this shit just becomes 10 times worse than what it actually is.
Oh, 100%. Me personally, I've dealt with really bad anxiety like my whole life. Like that's like I didn't like leave the house for like 6-7 months at one point. Like I developed extreme paranoia. I actually like straight up me and you right now on my mother's life. I thought I developed schizophrenia. It got that bad. I've been in and out of therapy my whole life for like anxiety and stuff like that. But I'm currently getting therapy for my anxiety. And I feel like as a conscious adult who's going to it and trying to make it work, I feel like that is one of the best things I've ever done.
Yeah.
So just like as a little word of advice, someone who's like I haven't exactly had your experience, but I've had somewhat of a similar experience, I feel like. That would be one of the best things I'd say. Just, like, yeah.
They put you on like any medication or anything like that?
I always refused medication because I didn't want to be drugged out, and also, see, the school got me therapy, and they were like, we don't want to put him on anything just in case he fucking goes lula or like he becomes dependent on them. So thankfully, I've never had to do or had to be on anything like that. Although they could have helped if it was done right. Like I'm not saying like if anybody gets fucking prescribed anything, don't take it. I just decided not to just because like addiction runs in my family, straight up.
Yeah, same. No, yeah. Same. I'd never take any sort of prescription drugs because I've known kids that were in my school, and I feel like everyone's had this, but like if you think about it, looking back, some kids are put on medication for certain stuff. Like they're put on like, and the doctors are weird, bro. They will just be like, oh, this guy has like ADHD, give him tablets. Just there you go. And like if you're a kid, like you're kind of like forced to take them, and you don't really think about it. I've known a lot of kids from like primary school and secondary school who've been put on medication like Adderall. I don't even know if it's Adderall. I know that's the American version, Adderall. And like fucking Xanax and all that shit. And that can fuck with you. Like that's like, it calms you down, but like you can be the most sociable person for like 15 minutes. And then for the rest of the day, you're just like a fucking zombie. And the whole point of it is to basically calm you down so you can like not be a disruption in class, but you're learning nothing. And I feel like what I've learned from people is you feel a bit detached from everyone else if you're kind of on those drugs and you're kind of like, it alters your brain, and that can have like a really long lasting effect. And also, yeah, drug addiction is not fucking cool. Like, especially with pills, like that shit is dangerous. Like, especially like opiates and stuff like codeine and all that crack, bro. That's fucked. That is fucked. It's not. I say it's not as bad in Ireland because it's a massive thing in America. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I think more people have died of opiate deaths in the last year than COVID. But yeah, it's not getting enough media attention, and COVID gets obviously way more attention because it's the most relevant thing in the world at the moment. Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah. Codeine is terrifyingly scary. I was actually put on a codeine painkiller for an operation I had this year because like the operation I had was like extremely painful. And bro, I was constipated like that. I didn't shit for like fucking 5 days after taking like codeine. That shit is fucked up, especially in America where like the fucking whatchamacallit, like the healthcare is so expensive. You're not gonna go to the doctor and be like, I have constipation, because it's gonna cost you like fucking $5,000.
Yeah.
Fucked.
Even going to the doctor is like 50 quid just to visit the fucking doctor. Even here, like if you don't have a medical card. Someone was saying, I think Canada have like free fucking healthcare, but their tax are through the fucking roof apparently. So it's like,
yeah, it's dodgy.
I think as well, if you put, especially now with like the culture that we live in, where like all the rappers are, you know, like I'm gonna say Juice WRLD or like basically any rapper that is over in America. Even I feel like in the UK it's a bit more like cocaine, you know, all this shit. Like just in my like head, that's what it is. But like in America, it's like these pills, like Percocets, like fucking Adderall, like Xanax, like sipping lean, you know, like all that shit. Like it's fucking like people. Like what I'm trying to say is these kids can go on these pills, and I know one of these kids because they're in my Discord, and I talked to him a little bit, and he was just like showing me tablets of Xanax, and I was like, what are you showing me that for? And he was like, I got put on these because I have ADHD in school. I'm like, what the fuck? You're put on Xanax because you have ADHD. Like that can't be real. Like that's, and then you start thinking about life. Life is so fucked. It's just so fucked. Little kids being put on Adderall and fucking Xanax and getting addictions at such a young age, and you wonder then why the fucking world is fucked.
Yeah. One thing I've gotten better at over time is not letting things that I can't control affect me. Like, as bad as I feel for like people who struggle with opioids in America, I can't let that linger on my mind because like what am I gonna do? Like am I gonna go over there like fucking Batman and Gotham and fucking kick the shit out of every drug dealer in America? No.
Yeah, instead of those like, little fucking Batman hooks that he has where he throws like little fucking katana things, it's just fucking opiates. Just fucking yeah. It's
like it's a hard thing to learn, but like if you can learn to do it, it's definitely easier to live your life. Like
it's something that comes with age, because like most people just don't think about that stuff anymore. Because it's like if you're like 45 years of age, it's like, oh, isn't that awful? But it's like you just move on because it's like there's not much you can do about that sort of stuff. That's something I'm trying to learn like really fast because it takes up so much of my mind space. Like just worrying about other people, and I'm not saying it's bad to worry about other people. And what I'm saying is, stuff that's not in your control, you probably shouldn't be spending a lot of time on. Be productive with your time. Focus on yourself as an individual, and then if you can help people along the way, that's the way you should try and go about it. You know what I mean?
If you're gonna care about anybody, care about the people who are closest to you. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not worth your time to, like, as sad as it sounds, like, it's not worth your time to be caring about fucking Billy Joe OD from fucking California who did whatever, like.
Yeah.
Especially when there's, like, real fucked shit going on in Ireland that people can actually help with.
I was, on the last podcast, I was talking to Jen about, like, anti-depression tablets and stuff. If you can go on any of those stuff, make sure they're not the addictive kind, because there is... I feel like some doctors, doctors can prescribe whatever they want. Realistically, they can do it within the means, obviously. Like, they will... Most doctors be like, oh, this is what you should do. This is, like, how you should... Most reasonable, sane doctors. But there is bad doctors out there. Like, there's bad people in anything you do. Ask if they say you're going to put you on this prescription drugs or this medicine, like, see if you can get, like, a non-addictive form. Maybe they're slightly weaker, but, like, just understand that if you have depression or if you have anxiety, there is more natural solutions than just going on tablets and stuff, in my opinion. Like you said, they're going out for a run, drinking more water, getting up earlier in the day, being more productive, setting plans. That shit is, and from my experience, way more beneficial than just going on fucking tablets.
Yeah. See, it's dodgy because some people... I feel so bad for people who biologically have depression and anxiety, like it doesn't come from trauma or something, because I don't know if it's harder, like straight up, I don't know their experience, but I would much prefer to handle what I have than whatever they're going through, because theirs seem much harder to deal with, like their coping mechanisms and stuff.
Yeah, I would say I never had anxiety. I had social anxiety when I was younger. Like when I was like in primary school particularly, I wasn't that sociable with people. Like it was difficult. Like I would go through these hyper stages where I was like the funniest kid in the class, and I wasn't on tablets where the fuck. I know I said that a minute ago, but I wasn't on tablets where the fuck. But I was like really, really hyper. And then I'd be the funniest kid in the class, but I'd get like really fucking hyper. Like I would be like, I'd almost be sweating. Like that's how excited I was at times. But then some days I was like, I wouldn't want to talk to anyone. And I in school, I always like gravitated towards the people who were sociable, so they would do all this shit for me. I remember when I was younger, when I was like 12, I'd say I left the town with one of my friends for the first time. He was like, "Here, let's go over to this place." No, like we were close friends, like it was fine. But like let's go over to this place and like meet up with people there. And I didn't know the people, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna following you. This is because in my head when I was growing up, I was like, okay, I have to do all this shit because I have to fit in. I have to which obviously you don't have to do now, but like it happens. Like if you don't take some opportunities especially when you're younger with people, you'll fall out with the wrong people and you mightn't be able to make friends again. So it is scary. Like a lot of people put a lot of pressure on themselves to make friends and to do all this shit, because if you don't do it, sometimes you lose a lot of opportunities. I feel like one thing, like if you don't go to discos and stuff, like if when you're like 13 and 12 or 13, like you might miss opportunity. Like I've learned, and it's actually really, really important, and I don't know if it applies to anyone, but like when I was younger, I said no to a lot of shit. Like I said, I didn't want to go to discos for like the first year or the fuck. I didn't want to go to this. I just didn't seem fun to me. Like, what are you doing? Just going fucking dancing in the fucking. I don't want to do that shit. But it's like, then the people who were asking me to go to these discos didn't ask me anymore. So I was like, oh fuck, I'm after falling out with these people. But like, yeah, that's just something I'd really, really focus on when you're younger is understand what you shouldn't, like, don't go off doing drugs, or don't go off like fucking with other people in a fucking white van and go over and experience other things, because that's not the right experiences. Like they're gonna start playing with your Mickey. But like, just
if you're lucky,
be like, try and be sociable in a way that's like normal. Like everyone's doing it, but like try and do some of that. If you don't enjoy it, fair enough, don't do it. But at least give it a try and an opportunity, because you'll meet people. And that's what, again, it's kind of come back. It's kind of the main thing with this podcast. But there's a lot of people in my Twitter DMs. I'm very open with my anxiety and what I deal with, like on Twitter and stuff. And I get a lot of people who relate to that. And I get some people, and I don't relate to this exactly, but a lot of people come into my DMs are like, I have no friends. And it's hard for me to give advice on that, because obviously I don't, like, I have friends, I have people who I'm really close with. And it's like, I feel like the main root of that is not taking the opportunities when you're younger with some people. I don't know if you feel how you feel about that.
See, I was very lucky with my friend group. They were always like, even though I'd be like, I don't feel like going to the teenage disco, they'd be like, you're coming.
Yeah.
Especially because when the teenage disco time came around, I was like, actually, like genuinely like 4 foot and like only like a couple stone. So I looked like a fucking 9-year-old. Bro, I remember we went to a teenage disco. If anybody from Mullingar knows where Danny Burns is, it was in the back of there. And I had to bring my fucking birth cert, I'm not joking yet, to a teenage disco to verify my age, and I broke down crying to the fucking bouncer because like he didn't believe the fucking birth cert and he had to ring my mother and everything. Don't know why I felt like telling that story, but yeah, no, I was very lucky with the group of friends I had. So it's hard for me to like relate to that kind of, because they would always be like, you're fucking coming, like you're one of us. Thankfully.
But it's difficult, because like I feel like when you're in primary school, like when you went to play school in primary school, it's like you kind of just gravitate to people, right? And as you get older with the same group of people in primary school, you just kind of like make friends. Like that's just always the way it's been in my head. Like you get I don't know if it's the same in your primary school, but like the teacher would like put you like in alphabetical order, or they put you with different people every couple of months to just switch it up and stuff, which is great. I think that's amazing, by the way. You talk to everyone and you kind of just get to know everyone. And in primary school, everyone's kind of like the whole class like a little unit. You know what I mean? Like everyone knows each other, all looking out for each other and stuff. Yeah. So that's why I don't really understand how people don't have friends, which is why it's hard for me to understand it. But like, if you're 15 or 16 and you have absolutely no friends, and this was like my only solution: meet people online, people that you don't fucking know well. You can get to know well really, really easily in just one night of texting them. Does that make sense? I've met so many friends, like, from just talking to them on Twitter and stuff, and it's just like, that might be the easy way to get to know people. But I feel like there's such an empty void in some people's lives because they can't find people IRL to talk to and stuff. And it's like online relationships are good, but having IRL friends is it's just a different thing altogether. Like it's just you've way more like connectivity with people. Like I know. Yeah. Would you say Boogan's like an online friend to you?
I'd say Boogan's like an IRL friend now. Like Boogan is like a brother from another mother. He's one of the soundest boys I've ever met.
Yeah, that's probably a bad point then. But what I'm trying to say is people online versus people IRL. Like it's just two different types of bonding. I think that the bonding that you miss, that a lot of people are missing, is because they don't have that IRL relationship with people, and that's fucked. I don't really know what to say, to be honest.
Just to those people who are feeling lonely, I'd start off by trying to be content with yourself. Like try be the best version of you can be before just trying to hold on to someone and just having them there. Try just be you for a while. Like people will naturally come in and out of your life. People who you thought, oh, we're gonna be best friends forever, are gonna know you till you're 60. They'll leave your life and new people will replace them. That's just how it is.
That is fucked, actually, but it's so true.
The one constant in everybody's life is you. You are the constant in your life, so you need to build yourself up and be happy and content with yourself before you try not to be dependent on anyone else. Do you feel me?
Yeah. Or make sure you're okay first before you start caring for other people. I see a lot of people online, especially on Twitter and stuff, and people that I'm friends with, who will look out for other people, but then they'll go away and 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, they will be so fucking depressed and lonely. And I'm like, can you just try and work on yourself, please? Because if we all work on ourselves, we can get to a mutual place where we can then start helping each other. And that's what I've been trying to do for the last month or two, is just trying to work on myself and make sure I know who I am as a person. And it's difficult. It's difficult. If you asked me 6 months ago, do I know who I am as a person? I would have been like, yeah, because I was in a way happier place after the whole GeoGuessr stuff and the Gogglebox stuff popped off 6 months ago. Because I went through 6 months of absolute shit and depression. So I was at that point, I was like, okay, I know who I am now. This is amazing. I'm so happy. That's not how it works. Most people will have ups and downs in their life, and it's more difficult, and it's easier said than done to find who you are as a person and be truly happy. And I don't even think there is such thing as a happiness, to be honest. I think it's because life is just ups and downs. That's what I've learned anyway. I don't think there's such thing as happiness. There's such thing as being content and being steady, but I don't think happiness exists, because happiness, in my opinion, is an emotion you experience for a few minutes and then you just go back to regular. Does that make sense? It's like a peak. Happiness is a peak, and it's not a constant. Whereas being content is it's constant. That's the flat line, and being happy is oh, I'm happy now, and then oh, I'm sad now. That's sort of way. That's the way I see it in my head, anyway.
Yeah, that's just everything. Life. That's just everything. Life is just, it's like you said, it's just constant up and downs. And I know, I'm content with the person I am right now, and I'm like, oh yeah, Simon's fucking sick and he's cool. I know for a fact, in 6 months' time, I'm gonna think of me currently now, and I'm gonna go, what a cringy, ugly, stupid, handicapped-looking bastard. I know I will.
It's the worst thing in life, man, honestly. I look back at myself 6 months ago, and I'm like back 6 months ago, I was the shit. I was the Prince of Bel-Air. I was amazing. But I was white. But I was amazing. And my hair was but I look back at it now, I'm like, I was talking about this on stream tonight, and I actually struggled to explain it, but you explained it so much better there. It's amazing. It's 6 months, looking back at yourself 6 months ago, you're cringe as fuck. But in the time, it's this is the best thing ever. But that's what I say that's what I was saying to someone on my stream tonight. I was like, they're like, Jake, I'm 14 and I'm ugly as fuck. First of all, if you realize you're ugly at 14, that is an amazing personality trait. That is fantastic. If you're self-conscious of what you are at 14, fair play to you, because I fucking wasn't. I had no comprehensibility of being cringe. I was just me. It's no, honestly, everyone's cringe at 14. If you look at I think the way that I explained on stream was when you're in third year and you look back at the first years, that's what you were when you were in first year. It's you were a cringe little fucking Neek as well. We were all there. I can say Neek, can't I? I think Neek is just a smart person. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when I started using that word. Yeah,
I sweat when I said that word as well.
It just doesn't feel right. Let me just go back to being an actor. I'm not going to say that. But yeah, no, it's weird. But you explained it so well there. Like it's difficult looking back yourself in 6 months' time and being like, like I was a cringe cunt. It was all bad. Like, but no, in the time, no one thinks you're actually that. Well, some people will think you're cringe. Like fuck me. Someone's always be like, oh, you're so cringe. But like, I feel like okay. The point I'm trying to make here is when you're trying to be a content creator when you're 15 years of age. Going back to that point, it's like no one else really. Like I know from my experience when I was 15 and I was making I think I was making FIFA videos at the time. And I was just it would have been before Fortnite, like a year before. So 2017, I was making FIFA videos and FIFA watch along or not FIFA football watch alongs. And I actually should have stuck at that for at least a year because I feel like in the next year that could have actually been class with the World Cup and stuff. Like I could have actually popped off in that now. And that's like what everyone's doing now. Everyone's doing watch alongs. Everyone's doing like FIFA or football watch alongs and shit. And I was ahead of the game, like, and I was pulling like really decent views in it, like as well. But
That's actually mad.
yeah, when you're 15 and you think, oh, everyone thinks you're cringe, just do it. Like, just fucking be yourself. If you're like, oh, but I don't want to be cringe, be yourself. If you're naturally cringe, you're naturally cringe. You can change that, but you'll be extremely unhappy. Like, I feel like a lot of people and a lot of male anxiety and depression comes from comparing themselves to other people. I feel like a lot of people go through a stage in their life where they want to be that alpha male. They want to be like that tall guy with the nice hair, the like built body, kind of that plays hurling on the hurling team, plays county, doesn't really talk a lot, but like just very, very confident. And I'm being very specific because I'm thinking of a person in my head right now. But like everyone wants to be that guy at least once in their life. But I promise you, just be who you are, because at the end of the day, you have to deal the hand that you're dealt in life, and you can't change that shit. And again, it comes back to your point of like not worrying about things you can't change and you can't control.
Don't kill the cringe part of yourself. Kill the part of yourself that cringes. Would be my advice for that.
Yes.
Because, man, there's going to be a day where not only where me and you aren't remembered, there won't be a single person in history that will be remembered. There will be no data in the universe. The universe will eventually, factually, just be two black holes that are colliding. That's what the universe will be at one point. And you are so and you are so lucky to live in like this time right now. I need to formulate what I'm actually thinking here. So just try make the most of it. Like, don't give, unless you're like doing something fucked up, like you're going fucking murdering people or fucking shiting in like the town well or something. Obviously don't do shit like that. Have a bit of self-awareness to you too, but like don't let other people influence your life that much if possible.
Yeah, because but it's difficult because a lot of people now, especially in the Twitter community that I'm kind of like referencing and talking about, they see clicks and like people like that and they're like, well, they're 15, they're doing this. I'm like, I'm 15, why can't I do that? I can categorically tell you this: if you're American, and this is going to again sound a bit racist, but if you're American, you can get away with this shit a lot easier because American audience, I feel like, is just Americans. Like Americans are all very like, they don't have the sense of humor we have over here. So it's like they can get away with like, ooh, like they can just be like, they can say all this gay shit and be like, oh, I want to tap your ass and all this shit. And that's hilarious to them. Like that is the funniest shit ever. And it's like in the UK and in Ireland and Europe, your jokes have to be a bit more like edgy and they have to be a bit more like, you know, hit a specific target. Whereas American be like, oh my god, you look so hot today, bro. Oh my god, bend over, daddy. And that is hilarious to them. Like, that is the funniest thing ever. So it's like, it's different. So what I would also say is stop comparing yourself to people who don't fucking live in the same position that you're in. Compare yourself, well, I would say don't compare yourself at all to other people. But if you're trying to compare yourself to people, at least make them this fucking same country as yourself. Because you can't compare yourself to people who don't live in the same circumstances as you. Like if you're in America, like it's just completely different content wise to here. It's, in my opinion, it's more free. It's just like you can get away. It's just free. Like if you want to grow, it's just be retarded. Like it's amazing.
Man, here it's still so backwards. Like we're not progressive at all with like anything here still. Like we're still like fucking 20 years behind everybody else. Like especially in like the way we comment on stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to use TikTok especially. Cian O'Mahony, right? I think we can all agree he's a bit of a ball bag here and there, but that man does not deserve the amount of hate he gets online. people fucking like actually genuinely hate him
Really?
just for being Cian O'Mahony. Man, his comments are fucked.
I've never seen this. I didn't know this. I didn't know he was like globally hated by the country.
Right, so I had a phone call with Cian O'Mahony, right? Just to
Weird
talk
flex.
to him.
Sorry.
I'm fully just understand who he is, because I've made videos on Cian O'Mahony and like I poked a bit of fun at him, but man, he just gets ripped and rinsed 24/7 just for being Cian O'Mahony. Like the kid is 17, like, and people go on like he's a fucking 26-year-old who's been fucking media trained for fucking 40 fucking years.
Yeah, I don't like. I get it as well, though. I get these comments where it's like, "Oh, Jake, you're racist. You're racist, Jake. You're racist." It's like, you not watch Father Ted. Like, it's actually weird, though. I did the Father Ted reaction there the other day, and it's mental the shit that they got away with, but you can't get away with now. And it's like, just stop with this whole cancel culture bollocks. Like, just grow a bit of like. Be an independent thinker. Just don't just go with the norm and be like, oh, you can't. Again, if someone is being racist and they're in a position of power, or if they're in a position of stardom, or they're a celebrity and they're being racist, fair enough. I don't like cool. Like, oh, Robert De Niro said that he doesn't like black people. That's not like specific. That is just like an example. Oh, that's awful. Let's never, all the black people, don't go to the cinema and watch these movies. We're not doing that. No way. Cool. That's amazing. Fantastic stand. But like, I don't understand the people who are like coming after Cian O'Mahony or coming after myself and be like, oh, you're racist. It's so, well, no, not Cian's racist. Fuck me. I'm on about myself now. I'm on about Jake, you're racist. I'm not. It's a joke. It's a fucking 10-second clip taken out of context. Watch the full video, get a little sniff of my personality, and you'll actually understand that I'm not actually racist. Like, I'm not I'm getting offended. I'm not actually racist, guys. Fuck off. It's so annoying because I'm not racist. I think you
have to say I'm not racist. It comes across racist.
Yeah, I'm not a racist, father. I just like the way that I think. Yeah,
like
no.
a lot of your stuff is like very on the nose, and like I'll be honest, like a lot of it just does come across that way, and I know you don't mean it. Like,
can you tell though that it's not like? Can you tell that it's a joke? Like the whole, like if you saw. I think that's why I get engagements on TikTok though, because like 30 seconds of like fucking like racist. Like that's what it is. And I feel like on TikTok, fair enough. If I get those comments, fair enough, because that's just 30 seconds of a clip. But if you're coming over to the YouTube video and you're watching like a 10-minute YouTube video and you still think that I'm racist, I'm sorry, get a fucking grip. Honestly, like that is, you're weird as fuck. I think I say at the end of every video, I'm not actually racist. I have to say this now. I'm going to start putting disclaimers in the description.
But man, it's like if you have to say I'm not racist, like surely that makes you think about the stuff that's going out of your mouth. Like.
True. But I definitely need to tone it down 150 million%. I don't want to keep making the same jokes as well. That's mainly the reason I want to move on from it. Like I'm making these racist jokes, and it's like making the odd racist joke or like alluding to something racist. I think is fine, but I sound like, you know who Tim Dillon is? I sound like Tim Dillon right now, like just being completely sarcastic about what I'm saying. I'm being serious though. I'm not actually a racist, father. Don't fucking throw me in a well.
That whole conversation there was just so extremely dodgy. Oh my god. Look, you're not a racist straight up, but a lot of the things you do say are dodgy, and I know that they're for jokes, but like a lot of people won't perceive it as that.
Yeah, I think if I also want to be a comedian or like a funny content creator, there has to be other jokes that I can make that aren't racist. Like, does that make, like, that's the way that I'm trying to go about it now. It's like, if I'm actually truly funny, and if I'm truly a funny person, I can think of jokes that aren't fucking racist off the top of my head. It's just tuning my brain slightly to adapt to that. And I don't think everything that I say is racist. Not everything. Like, I do make the odd jokes. Like, I do make the odd, like, oh, like Nike fucking factories. Like, you know, like I say that. I could say something about, but like, they go back, Madeleine McCann, like nonce jokes. They're funny. No, it's funny how no one gets offended about fucking nonce and pedophilia jokes. But when it's racist, oh my god, BLM. Fuck off. Cunts. Put me in the fucking Daily fucking Mail. I don't care. Yeah, going back to My opinions are my own.
These are Jake's
These-
views. I would like everybody to know this is not
Yeah.
associated with
When
me.
he gets 5 million subs and Nike come banging on the door, don't come pulling this club. It's me. It's all me.
No, fuck, honest to God, fuck Nike, fuck you, fuck everything about you. Same with Apple as well. You know, there's actually, I don't know if they use sweatshops, but every fucking iPhone you buy is fucking made by some poor Asian kid who had to work a 16. I swear to God, this is facts. Who had to work a 16-hour shift for about fucking 5 cents an hour in a building that has suicide nets around it so they don't throw themselves off the top of it. So fuck Apple and fuck Nike. You can go fuck yourself.
I was thinking the same shit the other day. I was like, this is so random. This is so random. I was watching Mark Goldbridge's thing, and he was like, today, guys, today, guys, I'm wearing an olive green shirt. I do like olive green shirts. They're amazing. It doesn't clash the green screen, so I don't get to wear them, but olive green shirts, amazing. And I was just there thinking of, that was made by a little Indonesian kid. Everything that we wear and use is made by an Indonesian, Chinese, fucking Indian, fucking Bangladeshi, fucking all of that side of the world. You know what I mean?
It's, you know, there's currently more slavery going on the planet than there has ever been in any other time period.
I seen that.
It is so fucked up on so many levels, like.
But again, this is why the world is fucked, because it doesn't get media coverage. Like, how can this be allowed? Where like the media is so fucking twisted to the fact that it's mental. It's just, it drives me mad. I don't remember it. I wasn't alive. I was a little speck in my father's ball sack or prostate at the time. But back in the day, like, news was news. It wasn't objective. I guess around the war and shit, there would have been like certain sides and shit. But in general, I feel like the news was the news. At some point, the news had to have just been the news, right? Like, surely at some stage.
I don't know. I think media would have been controlled from the get-go. Like, people would have been told whatever the fuck the media wanted them to tell, or whoever was back in the media 100%.
Yeah, because at the same time, someone owns with a lot of money. Like, I think is his name something Murter or something over in the UK, who like owns all the newspapers. Some fella owns a lot of newspapers anyway, and he basically can control what goes out and stuff. That's fucked up. At the same time.
Just for example, like, I think it was Princess Diana used to just get rinsed by the papers weekly for doing normal people shit for no fucking reason. Like, fuck the media, like, straight up. Like,
fuck the UK media. It's actually weird though. In America, the media is all very like, oh, anti-Trump, oh, we hate Trump. Trump is awful. If you actually look at Trump's time, he wasn't like, obviously apart from the last like couple of months where like the protests and shit happened. Not economically speaking, Trump actually was massive for the country. Economically wise, jobs wise, income wise, like it was actually good. It was okay. But the problem was, and the reason they're probably making those faces because CNN and all that shit demonized him, because CNN and stuff are like left wing, and it's just like left wing television. They're not going to support the right wing television. It's fucking mental in America. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to move on. I didn't want to hear your opinion on that. Don't express an opinion. This is propaganda. But going back to what you said there, in the UK it's mental, right? Because obviously Diana's like, I think the most famous example, obviously like Caroline Flack. I think she's trending again recently. I'm not even going to go into that because I said a joke and I do not want that to be linked with me at all. I
seen that joke and I was like, oh, that's where the line is crossed big time. Like,
at least it wasn't racist. No, but it's like, you know, like Ralph Rangnick, who came into United, right? Or even Ronaldo. When he came back, oh my God, Ronaldo's here. Ronaldo's the best. 3 weeks in, Ronaldo doesn't press. Ronaldo's the reason United aren't doing well. It's like the UK press are just so fucking retarded, it hurts my brain.
I think it's press anywhere. I honestly don't think it's press anywhere in the world. It's just, like, that's what, they're going to post what sells. And what sells is negativity and just putting someone on blast for no reason. Like,
yeah, that's why you said the Americans, though, because Americans, I don't feel like do that. Like, they don't just go after their athletes and be like, oh, I don't know, maybe online it's different to, I'm talking about like news outlets more so than actually like online. Everyone gets stick online if you're famous. That's just anywhere in the world, everyone gets stick. What I'm saying is, though, in America, it's like very political. It's like left wing versus right wing kind of war. And then in the UK, it's just like, oh, we just teared him down, just fuck him, like cancel culture, that shit. It's just the world. I don't even know what Ireland is. What does Ireland do? Ireland just fucking. Ireland is just farming and just.
Do you know what Ireland is? You turn on RT News and you sit there and you just go, death, depression, loads of depression, a bit of death, some depression, a bit of stabbing. You're gonna feel bad watching RT News and depression. That's all RT News is. Honest to God, I don't know how anybody can sit down, watch RT News and get up and be fucking happy after it, because it's just depression every time you turn on the fucking RT News. It's ridiculous.
But at least they show the news in an unbiased way, in my opinion. In my opinion, the news in Ireland is not as biased as other places in the world. Still biased because it's still controlled by the government, and the government can control what goes out. RT is owned by the government, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, RT is owned by the government.
So it's like, obviously there's some sort of control that what goes out, but I feel like for the most part, can be accurate.
I'm going to give you a perfect example of why RT is fucking rotten to the core. Remember when the general election was being had, and they had Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil and I think the Green Party on a debate, and they would not let a Sinn Féin candidate go on and debate on national television. And that's the tip of the iceberg. I can't think of other instances right now just because I don't look at RT News, but that one is a straight up red flag. Like, the fact that the leading political party, the one that everybody's voting for, can't have a candidate on the like national fucking news, whatever the fuck it was, election fucking yoke debate thing, is fucking mental.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
That is bananas. That's straight up censorship, like.
That's the word, censorship. I was looking for that in my head for like 5 minutes. Like that's the word I was looking for. But no, you see, Virgin Media have their own news now, and I actually like it way more than RT. Virgin Media News is 10 times better than RT News. RT News is very like you said, 10, 15 years in the past, the way they like go about shit and stuff. But Virgin Media News is more of like it's like a new thing. It's like, you know, the presenters are a bit more, it's more of like a talk show more than anything else. What really fucks me off though about television is they go after YouTubers and they go after content creators and be like, oh, because obviously content creators take away a lot of their, like a lot of people watch YouTube compared to they watch television now, like it's just facts. So they'll always, it's weird, like, if you want, like, it's so weird in my head that you can't swear on television. When it's like, isn't it, especially in Ireland, what the fuck was that? The dog's shaking. It's weird though that like online, you can go online and you can, everyone's swearing. You can watch my videos if you want, I'm always swearing. You go on Jacksepticeye's swearing. He's way bigger than the RT, but that's another story. Go on his stuff, swearing. But because it's on television, you cannot swear. It's like, if you fucking walk downstairs, your mother's swearing at you. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, it just doesn't. It's so fake, and no wonder people don't fucking watch that shit.
Honest to God, I can't. I refuse to intake or acknowledge any type of news that's on any platform, because it's fucking pointless. You're just wasting your time. They're just telling you the most depressing shit fucking possible for 20 minutes that you have no control over. You can do nothing about. Why? Like, what the fuck am I gonna do sat there about fucking Jimmy Joe McGee, who was stabbed to death 19 times in the chest? Why do I need to know that information? Stop telling me that.
It's crazy. But again, like, what I'm trying to say is the news is the news, and at least they're showing this news. Because over in America, I don't think they would fucking show half this shit. If a fucking white fella was stabbed or a black fella was, I don't know which way it is in America. I can't remember which way they're racist now. They switch up every 2 weeks. If someone gets stabbed in America, they probably wouldn't show that. It's like, oh, Trump and Biden and COVID. Like, that's what they do. So at least we get some bit of like, if something happens, okay, this is where I was coming from. If something happens in Tala, remember there was something that happened in Tala a couple of years back where some woman or a girl was murdered by 2 boys. Was it Tala? It was someplace in Dublin.
It's like the idea is there in my head, but I'm not sure.
So basically, a girl got fucking stabbed, raped, murdered in a shed somewhere by 2 boys. At least the media show that, and I know you don't want to hear that, but at least they show that. And that's my point, is if it was over in fucking America, I don't think you would hear about that because it just wouldn't be relevant news. So at least in Ireland, you get that.
I think that comes from Ireland being so small in comparison, though.
Yeah,
like America, like 450 million people. Like, there's probably, like, even off me fucking camera. 2 seconds. Let me.
I'm gonna go for a piss as well. Actually, this shit is still not being cleaned in the toilet.
Oh man, that is gack. You're gonna have to deal with the viewfinder for like
2 minutes,
40 seconds. Yeah. It's already.
We should have done like a little. I should have done like a little warm up talk with you for like a half an hour before I started. So I feel like the first like half an hour of this was all over the place, and then like the last like hour has been decent. Like we've just been actually like a decent conversation.
Just to fucking throw it back at you, I want to know what the fuck your plan is for 2022. That's what I want to know now.
That's a good way to get off politics, to be fair. We were kind of going in a fucking loop of politics. Anyway, so what do you think of Trump? No, I'm joking. For 2022, my main plan, and I've said this a few times, but my main plan is for next week I'm starting Irish Omegle, which is the next thing for me. That's like after Irish Geoguessr. In 3 months' time, I don't want to still be doing it. And if I'm still doing Irish Geoguessr in 3 months' time, I'm probably doing it wrong. There's like 4 or 5 videos I want to do left of Irish Geoguessr, and that's like Irish Geoguessr Dublin, Irish Geoguessr Cork, Irish Geoguessr Limerick. And then if that does well, I might continue on for another month or so, just doing different cities and stuff. But the next thing for me is Irish Omegle. I think that's the next big thing. So basically going on to American servers and just telling them Irish words or telling them Irish slang and stuff, and just stuff like that, which I think will do really well. And obviously there is potential for racially inputted jokes, which obviously is what my audience enjoy for a moment. But it's just like, I feel like I can bring my personality over to that, and I think it'll be funny. And I feel like I can rip the piss out of Americans without them knowing. I think that would be so funny. So yeah, that's the immediate plan. Like that's the next month. The Gogglebox is finished for me. I don't enjoy doing it anymore. There's one that's going up on Monday, and after that it's done. I'm not enjoying it. It didn't hit the 5-10k views I was expecting it to hit. Still 2k views in the Gogglebox with a bunch of creators that no one really knows, in my opinion, for the most part. People might know the Garage Show from Twitch, or you know what I mean, but like in the most part, people don't know anyone, even us. So I was proud of that. And maybe that's an idea I come back to in the future when I'm a bit more established. I think it would do better. But for the moment, I think it's done. Last episode's going up on Monday. The reason that was fucking postponed, by the way, and I don't know if I want to touch on this. Basically, I was going to do like a week of uploads around Christmas, and I got cheated on by a girl that I was kind of going out with, and it just fucked me up for 2 weeks. And I was like, I don't really want to do anything. So I just took my time to myself, and now we're back on the grind. So that's what happened 3 weeks ago. So just like why the Gogglebox hasn't come out 3 weeks ago, that is the reason. So for the next like 3 months, I think it's just going to be like sitting behind the camera type of videos like I'm doing now. Irish Omegle, a couple other plans. But then when the summer starts again, and doing the podcast as well, the podcast will be a big part of the year, just doing it on Twitch and stuff and growing that. I think I have a realistic expectation of getting partner off of doing the podcast on Twitch, because it gets a couple hundred views. Even the one I did with Sean VP had like 80 viewers, I think, live or something around that, which is decent. Considering we didn't hype it up and it was just literally, we just went live. So that's decent. I've Paddy Murphy coming on that. I have a few other people coming on live, Cyphic, OK Harry, basically people from the Twitter community. They'll be coming on the podcast next, and then it'll be uploaded to YouTube afterwards. But basically, my Twitch and my Twitter, my Twitch and my Twitter are very linked together. So it's like it makes sense to do the podcast with that audience more so than this one, because I feel like people watch it still gets like more views than what it was getting 6 months ago. But that's maybe because I got more subs now and I got more people watching it. You know what I mean? But I want the podcast to be more Twitter and Twitch related, if I'm being honest, and I don't really need it for YouTube, but I'll still do it. Next 6 months after that, then I want to start doing IRL videos. I have a camera, well, a fellow who can do the camera work for me, like who can hold the camera and the mic and all that shit. And basically be like a producer kind of. He's also really, really good at content himself. He doesn't make videos, but I met him in college, and he does like film work and stuff like that. I was weird. I basically went into the film and broadcasting course, and I literally went in there after one of the classes was done, and I was just there like looking in the glass window, being like, I don't know if you've ever seen it in like TV shows, where, like you're looking in through the window, and it's like you're doing that. I was basically doing that for 5 minutes, and when the class was over, I went in. And I was like, does anybody like making YouTube videos? And there was 2 fellas who were like, yeah, I like making YouTube videos. And one of them was really fat. And I was like, okay, I need to go traveling. So I went with the other fella. And I was like, we are going to do this. And I said to him basically, over the summer, do you want to start doing this stuff? Because that's what I want to start doing. He's like, yeah, let's do it. You just have to hold the camera. And if you want to start like helping me produce videos, because he has some good ideas as well. This is amazing. I was like, that's like a class. And we talk like every couple of days and stuff. So that's amazing. So basically, when the summer starts, I want to start going out and doing like the 1-star rated hotel in Limerick versus 5-star rated hotel in Limerick, just stuff like that to start off with. Then doing like public videos, like, you know, like basically the Keano Mahoney style or the Jamie J. Carr style that can do well on TikTok, but also really, really funny. I feel like once I start doing IRL videos, like I think with my personality, I think it'll do really, really well. Just like with my sense, like I feel like when I say my sense of humor, I just start thinking racist, but like that's not my sense of humor. Like it's not all of it. Like I can still make jokes that aren't racist. I just feel like, yeah, I just have to clarify, I'm not racist. But yeah, I want to do IRL videos. I want to do stuff like that out in Limerick, and then some in Cork, and hopefully COVID isn't a fucking cunt. I want to go to TwitchCon as well in July.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
That's a mad.
my aunt lives over in Amsterdam, well around that, so I can basically just go over there, pay for the plane ticket, pay for me training out to the place every day, and fantastic, like, you know. As long as I get my fucking ticket or my ticket to TwitchCon, I should be fine. And then after that, I haven't really planned that far ahead. Hopefully by that stage, I'm around 25, 30k subs in. After all the Irish Omegle stuff, and after like the podcast is doing well, and yeah, I want to explain that a bit more. The reason I'm doing the podcast live as well, not really that I need the clout. I don't need the clout on YouTube anymore from the podcast, and it doesn't really work on YouTube. Because if you're a small podcast, it's very hard to even just get more than 1,000 views on a podcast. So it's like it doesn't really. It's not worth my time to spend an hour and a half or 3 hours recording a podcast and putting it up. It's just not for me. So it's like I want to do it live, so at least then I can. People from the Twitter community know. A lot of people from Twitter community are like, oh, this is the podcast guy. So I kind of want to do podcasts for them more so. Because like they're the people who engage in it more so. You know what I mean? Like not my audience. And if my audience want to watch it afterwards, I'll upload on the fucking main channel or second channel. I don't know. Yeah, I see a lot of content creators who grow on YouTube and stuff. They might have 200, 300k on YouTube and have like a 2,000 followers on Twitter. And it's like, Twitter can be really, really, really important for a lot of shit if you can grow it as well. And that's the whole point. I want my YouTube to grow, but I also want my Twitter to grow as well, because I feel like it's important for your brand. And I don't know what you feel about that. But I definitely want my Twitter to grow as well. So that's why I'm doing the podcast on Twitch, because I feel like they can both grow each other. Get Twitch partner, Twitter can grow as well. And then I can do all my other shit on their platform. And then like TikTok and YouTube, and then Twitter and Twitch, they're both like intertwined together. And I think that's actually a decent little fucking mindset that. You know what I mean? I don't know.
No, that's definitely a good plan. 100%. Bro, I need to fucking grow my Instagram more. I don't use that fucking yoke at all.
I don't think anyone uses Instagram though. Like, you Instagram Reels, fair enough. But like,
yeah,
I feel like for Instagram is like Facebook. It's like you go over to Facebook to interact with your friends as what your friends are doing. I don't go on to Instagram and be like, I want to go on to Reels. I get sucked into them sometimes. I will admit I do go on a rabbit hole, and it's definitely just people on it. But if you want to do short stuff, go on, just do TikTok. Like, honestly, I don't think you're missing out on that much from not doing Instagram. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's just good to have like an extra platform built up though. Like, same with my Twitter. Like, I need to build my Twitter more, but it's just my mindset with Twitter now is like Twitter's a fucking tip. Like, I don't like using the app, so it's hard for me to build it. And it's kind of the same thing with Instagram. But like, yeah.
Yeah, I get you. I'm addicted to Twitter though. It's an unhealthy obsession that I have with Twitter. I have 3 accounts on Twitter. I have a JakeMcBoss account, I have a JakeMcPrivate account, and I have a JakePrive account. I have an account of 1.5k for like everything, and then I have, because what was happening was I didn't feel comfortable posting just regular stupid shit on my main account. So like, okay, I'm gonna make a second account, because literally the reason I did it is like I was like, okay, if I want to post this like stupid, funny like thing that I have going on in my head, like, let me just make something up on the top of my head. It's fair weird the way you can't have sex on buses. Like, if I post that on my main account, people like Save It and Gara and all that are going to see that. And that in my head makes me cringe. So I'm like, okay, let me make a private account. So if you choose to see that, you choose to see it. And I can also do like sneak peeks for videos and shit on that, because, you know. And then the Prive is just like literally just a diary. It has like 40 followers, and I literally just everyday thoughts, or if I'm listening to certain music and shit like that. That's basically what it is. And it's just genuinely, it sounds stupid, but it's literally just a way of getting like stress off. Like, I can just vent, or I can just say something. I can just get it off my chest, and I don't think about it again. Which can be counterproductive if you're constantly lingering on thoughts. But I feel like for me, it works for what I intended to work on. And that's why I do it. But it's weird. It's weird you don't see Twitter in that. Like, you don't use Twitter like for that. Like, I don't know.
I used to use it for that a little bit, but like, I don't know. I'm in a mindset now where it's like, it's not that I don't think like anybody would be interested in my thoughts, but it's just I don't like posting that much. I like keeping a lot of shit to myself.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Just Twitter in general. I don't even like. Like sometimes I get on the app and I'll be scrolling and I'll be reading replies and I'm like, why am I intaking this? Like I don't like anything I'm fucking seeing. Like
it can be so counterproductive. I feel like Twitter.
Oh, it's so bad.
You
Man,
meet
it's
the
just
biggest melons as well.
oh, it's awful. It's so bad. I honest to God think it's like one of the most toxic social medias you can use.
It's turned into like it used to be Facebook. I feel like Facebook is after turning into or Instagram is the new Facebook.
Yeah.
It's very like all your friends kind of go on it now, and I've yet to meet a person though in real life, which is I think it kind of speaks testament. Like I don't think I've met someone in real life that has more than 100 followers on Twitter. Like I don't like if I'm talking to someone and I'm having a conversation, I'd be like, "Oh, do you have Twitter?" And they're like, "Yeah, but I don't really use it." I'm like, "Oh, everyone." It feels like when you're on Twitter, everyone's using Twitter, but actually in real life, not a lot of people use it. Like I don't know. It's some people do, some people don't. Some people use Instagram. It's all like personal preference. But I feel like not a lot of people actually use Twitter. Like if I see like I'm not gonna say that. If I see like a girl on Twitter, like they're not the popular girl in school.
Yeah,
like they're not like the popular. Like they don't like go out drinking, and they're not like most like that's again. There's obviously exceptions, but like most girls on Twitter don't really like. They aren't like the popular girls. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
I honestly wish I could go back in time, and if I could do one thing back in time, it would be like tell younger Simon to never use Twitter. I genuinely like despise the app. I fucking think it's awful.
Yeah, I only use it to engage with my friends and stuff. I can't like my online friends. Like no one that I talk to IRL has Twitter, and I feel like most people will say that as well. Like if I feel like I'll just use JSM as an example. I don't know why he's in the top of my head, but there you go. I'm fucking So JSM, I don't like JSM has like a load of friends IRL, but like he's like decently sized on Twitter, right? I don't think any of his friends IRL would use Twitter, if that makes sense. Like no one, like those two worlds never cross. It's so strange in my head. Maybe, and again, there's exceptions, obviously. I just don't think they cross. Like it's weird. Twitter's weird.
Yeah, it's mental. It's mental. Like Twitter is for like the anonymous, like, and that's why. That's why there's so much fucking shit in that platform, man. Oh my god. Especially, honest to God, football Twitter is fucking god awful. I fucking hate
I find it so funny.
Twitter so much. Oh, it does my head in. Like some tweets are fucking hilarious, right? There'll be a really good meme. Second you click replies on a football Twitter tweet, just get the PC away from me, get the phone away from me. I don't want to look at it. Waste of time.
Yeah. I think I find football Twitter funny because I don't think other people's. I respect other people's opinions, but at the same time, no one's changing my opinion on anything in fucking 240 characters. I'm so sorry, but you're not changing my opinion on fucking Mo Salah in 240 characters. It's just not gonna happen. So,
bro, speaking about Mo Salah, right? Do you know obviously like Salah's better than Hazard, but I had a thought the other day. To me, Eden Hazard is nicer to watch than Mohamed Salah.
You're racist.
No, I'm not.
You're racist. It's because he's Egyptian. You're racist. And he's Muslim. You're racist.
That has nothing to do with it. I don't know what it is. Someone will agree with me out there. I know they will. Hazard, the way Hazard moves just is more aesthetically pleasing.
Oh, yeah.
Mohamed Salah in stats it's not even a competition. Mohamed Salah blows him away. But I don't know.
Salah's like old-fashioned kind of, the way he like moves with the ball. He's revived so much shit that no one like did. The outside of the boot pass, he's actually after bringing that back. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Everyone, I was playing football before COVID. No one would attempt the outside the boot. Everyone inside in that college will now just do an outside, and everyone's good at it because it's fucking simple. And it's like if you're not good with your left foot, there you go, right foot curl, bang. But no one was using that before Salah. I swear to God, it just wasn't a thing at all. And I don't know. But like even like ball rolls with the studs, like not a lot of people would like put their foot on the ball and like just kind of like wriggle it and shit. It's crazy. It's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like old fashioned kind of. But like, yeah. But I get what you mean by Hazard. Hazard's dribbling is unreal.
Oh, it's just, it looks so much more.
I would say he's a better dribbling. I was going to say he's better than Messi dribbling wise, but I'm probably not going to say that.
I think it's close. I honestly think it's close. I think he's the closest person to Messi dribbling wise.
Messi and Salah are very similar to the way they play.
Yeah. I feel like when I watch Salah, I feel like he runs like this, but that's just, I don't know. Like I don't know.
It's because he's Muslim.
No, it is
When
not.
you did that, was
because
that racially motivated?
No, it was not.
See, this is the type of comments that I get all the time. I could fucking wink and it's like, oh, he's part of the
No.
KKK, lads. Fucking get him gone, man. Honestly. Fuck off.
No. You're the only person that's thinking racist right now. I am not. That's not it. Just Hazard just moves like silk, whereas I feel like Salah's a bit.
But Salah's a better
stiff when he
footballer.
moves. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's more consistent.
That's all
I think
care about.
I think natural ability Hazard is better, but Hazard doesn't work is his issue.
Yeah.
Where Salah does.
Yeah, he's more naturally gifted. And I think that's fucking evident by the fact that he was scouted to Chelsea, the fucking Champions League winners in 2012. And
That's mental.
And Salah was scouted, but it's at the same time like Hazard felt like more like, you know, he just felt like, oh, the next coming of Jesus kind of when he went to Chelsea. Like that was like the big thing. Like whereas like Salah's like he had to work, he had to go to Roma and kind of come back in his mid-20s and then kind of go about it. You know what I mean? But he worked way harder. Like he's literally after going from a very average footballer to like one of the best in the world, just from working on his physique and working on his like the way he perceives. He's a fucking animal, man. Honestly, I might fucking go Muslim with all the fucking fasting. Like that's mad. That was a joke, by the way. That was not. Anyway,
why would you not go Muslim?
I wouldn't. It's not. It's like going gay. It's like I wouldn't do that personally. It's not for me. Actually, speaking of that, the thought of me putting something else in someone else's arse actually really makes me want to get sick. The thought of me even going near someone else's arse makes me sick. If I was in the same room as an erect penis, I'd run away.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what to ask about.
because I was watching True Geordie's podcast, the Christmas one, and Rory, who was on it, Rory Jennings, was like, if I'm in the same room as an erect penis, I'm gonna run away, and I actually feel the same way. Like anyway, 2 hours in, it's just gone to shit. So what sort of content do you want to make for the new year then? What's your plan?
I have some dirty, filthy fucking ideas. I'm mad to get these pair of fucking hands on.
Speaking of,
I don't want to give away. I don't want to give away too much, just on the 1% chance somebody decides to do it before me, and if someone does, I'm gonna paint the ceiling.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be IRL. It's gonna be big videos, and it's going to be unique. Is all I can say. Like, honest to God, I can 100% say nobody in Ireland has ever done this, and I don't think they've the cojones to do it either. And I don't think anybody actually has, like, what's the same, not requirements, but the same qualities I have to do it how I'm gonna do it.
A lot of Irish content creations coming soon from you. That's all I'm going to say. That
never happened.
Okay, so plans for New Year's. No, I'm joking. So in the next 6 months, where do you see yourself as a content creator, size wise?
Size wise, I should have 50k on TikTok. If I don't, I'm useless.
I think you'll go. No, at the way you're growing, if you keep doing this shit, because the difference between you and me, like the way that I was doing Geoguessr, I was like, okay, I got to 10k. I didn't think I'd ever hit 20k, if that makes sense. The way that you're doing TikTok, it's all like newish ideas every week. Like you've new series on TikTok, like mini shit. So you're always gonna keep growing on TikToks. I think you'll probably hit 75k in 6 months.
I'd like that to happen, but the goal is 50. Like, I'd be a useless bastard if I couldn't get 50k on TikTok.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
YouTube's a hard one. If God willing, fucking touch wood, I don't believe in God, but God, if you're fucking real, please just let me stay healthy. If I stay mentally and physically healthy, I should have 40k without breaking a sweat, really, with the ideas I've coming. And yeah, they're the two big ones. I want to try incorporate the Irish scene and grow the Irish scene as much as I can. That's why I want to get people on board. Like you, Keane O'Mahony, whoever the fuck wants to be on board, fucking contact me. I've put out a TikTok already saying I want people to contact me. I will message you. You message me. I don't give a fuck. I will try and make it happen if I like your content.
I think we'll definitely end up doing something this year, IRL. I have a feeling, because we were already talking about it last year. It was just like, we were even talking about it fucking around the time you had your operation, I think, wasn't it? We were going to be up in Dublin, so like that's going to happen at some stage. Whether it's Dublin or Limerick, wherever the fuck, I think it'll happen at some stage, because it's just like, you know, it's just a matter of going on a train and just meeting up really for the day. It's like it's not really like it's not like a big thing. What sort of when you say like you're going to revolutionize Irish content creation, what sort of style does that entail?
All right, so the videos are going to be the main thing I'm going with is like the YouTube videos. They're going to be the bread and butter. They're going to be my baby, my child, everything. Each video is going to be written. It's going to have a narrative. There's going to be storytelling in each video, and it's going to. I want it to be a collection of things that somebody can go and watch when they please. Like, it's not just like I'll watch a JMY video. It's not just like they'll come and watch one. I want them to be able to have like a set of things to watch, if you get me.
I love that about YouTube. Like, that's like, if you can do that, that's like, that might be one of the best feelings ever. Like, yeah. Like going back, like having like a catalog of videos to go back and watch is just amazing. Of course, someone would go fucking Hoover while I'm doing a podcast. Like, honestly, fucking die. Anyway,
I'm about to watch a bus stop through Discord.
Fucking hell, man, honestly. I wish I had noise cancelling headphones because this then would not be an issue. But just like, I can't fucking think when I can hear fucking. No, it's not a chainsaw. Don't run away. That's a joke. If you're Irish, you'll understand. I hope. But what? But for TikTok is like, would you say a lot of the shit's gonna be like IRL, or do you think it's gonna be behind the camera like you're doing now with TikTok?
Oh, TikTok's gonna stay behind the camera, and I've like some ideas for TikTok that are gonna be a little bit not from where I am now, but like TikTok mainly is going to be behind the desk. And
behind the desk is a way better way. I'm gonna start using behind the desk because when I say behind the cameras, people are gonna be like, "Oh, porn." And so yeah, behind the desk is a way better. Yeah, although behind the desk could be fucking sexual as well. Do you know what I mean? Over the washing machine.
Yeah, but fucking like a lot of what I'm doing on YouTube will translate over to TikTok, and that's probably where a lot of the viewership is gonna come from. It's gonna be stuff that like. It's not going to be Irish themed stuff either, which is going to be good. And yeah, like people are going to enjoy it, and I hope I set a fucking bar. Like that if I do one thing, it's set a fucking bar for content in Ireland. Be like, this, we can do this. We can make actually fucking entertaining shit, and we can all fucking do this. I would love if that's what comes out of this.
Yeah, I think the only problem you have with your TikTok at the moment is the people are, you can tell yourself, I don't know, you've gone up a couple hundred subs from it, but like you haven't gone up like mad. Like you can see the way that I grew from fucking just putting Juguester on TikTok and getting people over to YouTube. Like you could see like the grow up was fucking crazy, like thousands and thousands of subs. But that's the only thing you haven't done properly, I feel like, is getting people from TikTok to YouTube, and you understand that. Definitely. But also the biggest fucking thing you said there that I'm probably going to struggle with is getting over to like a global audience and not just sticking to Ireland, because my stuff is Irish content. Like, it is so, it is unbelievably, like, if you're Irish, you understand it. If you're not Irish, you don't. Maybe some Americans are always like, oh, you're Irish. I get like at least one comment a week where it's like, oh, my grandfather was Irish. Like, I didn't ask. Yeah. But yeah, if going like, you're doing TikToks that aren't just like restricted to Ireland, which is really, 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 really good. I don't know if I just don't use TikTok like that. I feel like I just don't have the effort or the determination. I just don't. It's just not something I want to do. Straight up. Yeah. I know it's beneficial, but I just don't want to do it. I just can't be arsed.
Yeah.
I'm
like, TikTok is fun for me now, but like, even if it becomes unfun, to me it's too valuable of a tool not to use.
Yeah.
Like, this year is kind of like, I'm doing this or I'm not, because I'm re-enrolling in college just to have that there while I do the YouTube. So for this year, like, I'm doing it like I literally have to. I don't really have like a second option. So I'm gonna I'm gonna grab whatever the fuck is giving me anything, and I'm gonna fucking hold on for dear life, and I'm gonna run with that bastard.
So we're both kind of in the same boat then. Like, this is like a massive year, and yeah, I think if I'm being honest, I think you'll blow up, and I think I won't be there around with you, but I'll definitely be doing my own thing, if that makes sense. I'll be fine. You know what I mean? I'm trying, like, my goal now is to try to get where you are on YouTube. Like, I'm trying to get 20k subs. Like, that's where I want to be in the next like 3 or 4 months. Whereas like your next goal is trying to, blow up kind of shit. So I'm always gonna be like a little bit behind you, which is fine, because I love
Yeah.
you and I want you to pop off and I want you to blow up and I know that I can piggyback off you if you ever blow up. Just joking. But yeah, get me in your videos. I wrote down metaverse, NFTs, cryptocurrency, or 2022 goals. So I'm going to go with metaverse because I want to talk about metaverse. You want to talk about metaverse?
Yeah,
Or NFTs?
You know how much I'm obsessed with each of these. Go on.
Okay. NFTs in the metaverse. Let's start with that. Buying virtual property in a fucking video game to live. Go.
Right. I fuck. Do you know the whole like Bored Ape things and the silly pictures on the internet, right? I can agree that that's a bit stupid, straight up. But people don't understand how much NFTs are going to be used in our life. Probably your medical records are going to be NFTs. The deed to your house is probably going to be an NFT. I'm not joking you. I'm not joking you.
In what way? It's a contract. No?
What do you mean?
Okay.
What do you mean?
Deeds to a house is a contract.
Yeah, and that can be... So what an NFT is, an NFT stands for non-fungible token. That is something that holds one state forever. There's only one of them. Whereas cash is fungible. You can have a $5 that goes into five $1. NFTs do not do that. So if you let's say you signed the deed to your house on an NFT, that is then stored on a blockchain that will stay there for the rest of time. You can't hack it. You can't fake it. You can't do anything to manipulate it in any way. Okay? And when that comes to the metaverse, like we're talking about now, right, so do you know, right, FIFA, for example, people will spend thousands of pounds on virtual cards in a video game. But the idea of spending that in an NFT is bananas to some people for some reason.
Because you can't use it.
Well, you can. If it's in the metaverse, you can use it.
What am I going to do? Fucking hang it up on my wall?
No, you can buy skins that are NFTs. I agree the pictures are stupid.
Yeah.
But that's literally the same thing as buying a Fortnite skin. And people will not acknowledge that. The only difference is you don't own the Fortnite skin. Epic Games do. Whereas when you own an NFT, that is yours, and you can take it out of the game and put it into a different metaverse.
So how is there value in that long term? So we'll go back to the deed to the house thing, because I actually understand that. So if you have a deed to the house, how is that going to appreciate and depreciate in value? Or will it ever appreciate or depreciate?
That's just going to be attached to the house. That's not a thing. Like that's not like a thing you'll buy with money. That'll be attached to a blockchain that's ran on a network.
What's a blockchain?
That'll be. Oh my god. So a blockchain is a system of computers who are constantly approving and disproving contracts. And I'd have to explain the whole of crypto to you.
What's a contract?
So a contract is the solving of an equation, which...
So algebra.
Yeah, it's like all code ran by the computer, but once you are on a network, let's say you join Ethereum's network, you're now on that blockchain with probably a million different other people who are using wallets. And they all confirm each other. So there is no way for crypto, Bitcoin especially, right? I'll use Bitcoin because everybody knows Bitcoins. You cannot falsify it, you can't fake it, you can't fucking swindle it, you can't launder it. It is the most straight up front thing ever.
It's secure as well, it's the most secure sort of currency in a way, is it?
Yes, but where people are currently housing it in, so your wallet can get hacked on an exchange, they're a bit unsafe just because the exchange themselves is safe.
So exchanging from one place to another, that's where it can get fucked.
Oh fuck. So an exchange is somewhere where you'd go to buy it, right?
So
you'd buy it off a big company. Yeah, like a virtual shop, let's say. Or you can buy it another way through a different kind of wallet, and you'd be buying it directly off someone else. Okay. If you get me.
So it's like going to a food mart.
Yeah, kind of. Yes. And
so
if
you go down to so you go down to the food mart and you have pennies down the fucking end. You can go down to pennies and go in there to a big company, or you can buy your cucumbers in the fucking market by individual people.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. We'll say that for now. If you hold your Bitcoin in a hardware wallet, there is no way anybody ever you could just hold that Bitcoin until the end of time if you just have the thing in your hand. which is bananas.
What the fuck?
It's just, yeah, like, bro, like, I don't want to be that crypto guy that's like, oh, I fucking know everything about everything and I'm a fucking genius. But if you actually haven't looked into crypto and you're disregarding it off the bat, just do a bit of research because it's actually mind-blowing.
I'm like Joe Rogan. I just completely disregard its existence and I refuse to partake in the knowledge of cryptocurrency or NFTs or the metaverse. I disregard it. I don't think about it. The same way you don't think about COVID, I don't think about these things. I let people do what they want to do. That's their life. It's not for me. But it's very profitable, and I do see the money people are making, and I do see how it will impact us as a society.
Yeah.
I need to learn it. I just can't be arsed to do it.
Bro, if the financial system failed tomorrow, let's say the banks went bust everywhere, there was no more cash, dollars were now worthless, the next thing that people would use would be Bitcoin because it is the most available to everybody. Like gold, you would have to fucking transport gold for hours. And it's hard to break down because it's fucking gold. Like, one gold bar is worth like so much money. You can't fucking slice a piece of gold and give it to someone. Whereas with Bitcoin, you can. You can give someone a 15th of a Bitcoin to pay them for whatever. And the best thing about Bitcoin is everybody in the world will be using the same currency. So everybody will be on the same page.
I think at some stage when society completely crumbles, online currency will be... I think we're moving towards that anyway. Like everyone's credit card taps now. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the exact same thing. Like it's just, I think the thing that I don't understand is you have Bitcoin and you have all these other different types of coins. If it was just Bitcoin, I'd understand it. But if it was like 50 million different coins, then I don't understand it.
See, the other 50 million, each cryptocurrency solves an issue, if you get me.
Okay.
Like, so a lot of the smaller tokens, oh bro, this is going to be so hard to describe because they all do different things. But like, a lot of the tokens, they're used to make decisions on the platforms. They're called a DAO, Decentralized Autonomous Organization. And if you hold a load of the DAO, you can then decide what happens on the platform. It's like shares in a company.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's what that's like only some of the smaller ones. And then you have stuff like Chainlink, which is an oracle, which like does a whole different job. It's like the security between someone like PayPal and a Bitcoin to make sure everything runs smoothly. And the tokens for that are burned to make like decisions on the platform in a different way.
And how many blockchains are there? How many different platforms are there?
I like the main ones are like Bitcoin's blockchain. See, bro, I'm not even the guy to be educating on this. I think they might run on the same blockchain, but I'm not sure. I don't know if they have individual blockchains or not, but I know there is different networks. Like you have ETH's network, Bitcoin's network, like a BNB network.
So if I was to get into this now, what would be the first thing that I would do? Are you in it?
I've been in it for about a year.
Okay. So if I was to get into it now, say if I had €100, what would I do with it?
I would go and I would start learning about how it works. I wouldn't. When people say that to me, I could tell you that, and like I only have like a basic knowledge. Like, don't trust me with your money.
It's fair to say for everyone watching, we are not professionals, especially me. Every gamble comes with risks. Bitcoin is in fact something that can go wrong. Well, if you buy if you buy coins or whatever the fuck, it can go wrong. Everything has a depreciation and appreciation of value. It goes up and down. It's not safe. Just for the interest of fairness.
Yeah, this is not financial advice. I just know how they work slightly, and I'm a stupid bastard, so don't listen to me.
We are not the shepherd. We are the sheep.
Yes, exactly. I would go into YouTube, I'd go, how does crypto work? And then whenever you don't understand in each videos, I would go, how does the blockchain work? How do oracles work? How do DAOs work?
How long will it take to grasp a concept of?
Bro, it's fucking hard. It took me a long old time. I didn't understand what NFTs were for so long. I was like, that is the most fucking stupid thing I've ever heard of. Nobody's ever going to use them. And now I'm sitting there like scanning fucking NFT platforms all day trying to figure out which one's going to be the one to house fucking like.
And there's
bro, the NFL are using NFTs for tickets.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like
okay, that's crazy. That's great.
like
That's blown my mind.
the integration is happening, like, and it's so easy to dismiss it all, but it's like,
It's inevitable, yeah.
yeah, it is. It's inevitable. Exactly.
Okay, I just want to touch on the metaverse for a little bit, for a second. If you were in the metaverse, who? If you were in the metaverse, who? So okay,
Who would I finger first or something?
no, who would you want to live beside?
Oh God.
Which plot of land would you want to live on?
Oh, like in Sandbox. Oh
Yeah.
fuck, man. I don't know. I personally wouldn't want to live in the metaverse, to be honest. I think if I end up living in the metaverse, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Do you know when I think of the metaverse, I think of the Wii. Do you know the Wii games?
Yeah.
Remember, I don't know if you like Wii Sport, where you go on driving the planes and you could, and you'd have like the fucking lightsabers and you go around doing the sushi. Oh my God, that is what it is. No, but obviously like the higher up people would go into like a certain like level. They'd go into like their own fucking like a prestigious level. Some would call it an island. I think Jeffrey Epstein was ahead of his game. Crazy. No, but I would work on like a smaller. I would work on a smaller like server and then work my way up. I think.
I don't even know. Like, oh, bro, it's fucking weird. Like, honest to God, we could be in a metaverse right now and we wouldn't know. Like, it could just be that level of real. And if the metaverse, if I was outside it before it gets that real and I was watching that happen, I would lose my mind. I'd be like, I don't want to do that. Like, I like where I am now. Like,
well, I'm hard. I don't think I could be hard in the metaverse. Well, like, probably could be hard in the metaverse.
You can be whatever you want.
But how could you, okay, but why? What would be the point of being hard in the metaverse? You wouldn't be able to have sex. You wouldn't be able to feel the sex.
Right now. Who knows in fucking 10 years' time?
You said that like the Gara show. I can't unsee what you just... You said... You might know, but that was like very like... now I'm just thinking of the Gara show and his missus. I don't know what is wrong with me, honestly. I'm just... yeah. So yeah.
Like, bro, do you remember like fucking 10 years ago when Samsung came out for a yoke where you'd sit your phone into and it was like VR before VR and everybody's like, man, that's fucking shite. Like, why would you ever wear a headset? And now you've like Oculus, the PS has a fucking virtual reality and it's alright, like, it's decent.
I don't know anyone who'd actually... It just seems retarded to me in my head. Just the whole Oculus Rift stuff and the like the VR, PS4, PS like VR. It just seems a bit shit, to be honest. There's no like big type... If Fortnite was on VR and you could actually go into Fortnite with a fucking gun and like a little pen and paper and you're just, that would be amazing. But you can't do that. That's, VR at the moment is shit. I don't care.
Yeah. At the moment, man, I'm going to give you a perfect example. 20 years ago, think about how short of a time that is, right?
I wasn't even fucking alive.
These did not exist. Phones did not exist. People were going around with Nokia Blockias, fucking... I don't even think flip phones were a fucking thing. And now you have... This is an extension of your body. This is now a part of every single person. It is a very real possibility that 25 years down the fucking line, everybody sat with a fucking Neuralink in their brain hooked up to their PC because global warming is ending the world.
I was about to say the exact same thing.
Yeah, man.
So like, imagine they put like a fuck. So okay, the world is ending. Everyone, a big massive volcano is exploding, but Elon Musk is in his little bunker. Wait. If you're actually dead though, you can't do it. Unless you upload your consciousness to like a data and then you die. But if you died, that's we're playing with God now. This is what we're doing.
Bro, it's getting dodgy. Sure, man, the fucking scientists made fucking cells that they just made human cells out of nothing and made them reproduce. Just out of nothing. We are now in a generation. I sound like a fucking crazy lunatic that stands out in the road shouting. We are playing God. We are now in the fucking, whatever the fuck you want to call it. We're now in the sci-fi film. It's currently happening.
But could you like imagine if the world was ending and you just have like one secure bunker that can never be harmed or touched? Like I'm talking like down in the fucking like inner mantle of the fucking earth. Just a big massive bunker with a massive cloud, like a farm of like servers and shit. And everyone's like just in this server. Everyone in the entire world that will ever live or has ever, well, not has ever lived, but anyone that will live from that point is now inside a server. And you just have Elon Musk fucking just there on the outside, just being like, just controlling it all. Amazing.
That could be us right now. We have no way of disproving that we're not in a server. We could be in a server within a server within a server within a server.
I want to be in the
And there's
Google one.
no way to disprove it, like.
But I'm not going to Facebook one, man. If I'm going to Facebook metaverse,
Fuck
I'm
that.
not going to anywhere near that fucking Mark Zuckerberg. If that Mark Zuckerberg is controlling the fucking surface of the floor that I'm walking on, you can fuck off. Honestly. Dickhead.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
I hope he gets arrested. Little fucking cunt. But yeah, we talked about a lot of stuff there. A lot of stuff was rambled. I feel like a lot of the points we made, some of them were good, especially for me. I feel like a lot of the stuff that I said was a bit all over the place, but that's fine. Again,
politics.
The politics is fantastic. I don't have a clue about politics. It's just amazing. A lot of the shit that I say about politics is just to annoy other people, and that's completely fine. That's just the way the world is now. Yeah. So the charity podcast is starting. Well, the podcast will be on Twitch starting on Friday, 9 p.m. with Syphic. If you don't know who he is, fair enough. I'll be over there. Follow my Twitch, link description. Then on the 5th of February, we're doing the charity podcast. 12 hours with 11 different guests, or 11 different guests. We're trying to raise €1,000 for charity for Pieta House. And yeah, that's a good incentive, a good little goal to hit for the start of the year. So that's what we're aiming towards. And yeah, follow my Twitter, follow all that shit. All of JMY socials will be in the description. I'm so used to calling you Simon. I feel like calling you J. Would you ever change JMY as a name?
I've thought about it, but
just can't be
I don't want to fucking do that.
I was thinking about changing from JakeMcBoss, but then I'm like, I can't be arsed rebranding to something else. I just can't be fucked with it. Like I'm now JakeMcBoss until I fucking die. Unfortunately.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I'd like to change to my name.
Would you?
But I don't know. Yeah, I'd probably change my name. I feel like that's just handier than having like some alias.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I don't think names matter that much.
Yeah, no, I don't either. Remember, I don't know if you were there when Gara and fucking Jamie J. Carr were fucking arguing about his name. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have a falling out with this Jamie fella now. And I was thinking like, oh, it's unreal. It's always about the peg legs.
Few cans deep.
Man, Jamie was scuttered. He was absolutely fucked. Anyway, I want to get him on the podcast at some stage. I think it'll be so funny. We'll leave that for another day. But yeah, that is the end of the JakeMcBoss podcast, episode number 17. We're back. 17. I deleted about fucking 10 episodes of the podcast earlier. So we're gone from 27 to 17. It's getting small. So yeah, cheers for watching. Like and subscribe. Follow my socials. If I offended you in this podcast, remember, I'm not racist. Simon's views are his own. My views are my own. I don't condone the use of racial violence on the population. What? What have I just said? Okay, bye. We're ending it now. Bye. Okay, bye. I'm just ending it.